This is single-handedly the most valuable video on the internet when it comes to online info products or online coaching companies. Look at the amount of detail that is in this video, from everything from the intro, case studies, building the foundation, how to structure the proper offer, how to build the proper socials, how to bring in the right leads, the entire sales process, a full breakdown on paid advertisement, how to set appointments, how to close the appointments, how to fulfill, how to hire the right people. Everything A to Z you need to know to go from $0 to $100,000 is inside of this video. And over the next couple hours, I'm gonna be breaking down how you can start from either scratch or your existing company right now and scale it past that 100K a month mark through an online info business model that has been worked for generations. And I'll go ahead and start off with my personal results. So last month, I did over 100K a month with my own coaching offer. As you can see right here, we have 71 on one Stripe account and 28 on the other Stripe account. And this isn't revenue, this is profit. Over 100K a month in profit after expenses. And the amazing thing about an online info offer is you have the highest profit margins out of any business model out there. You are profiting 75 to 90% on every single info company. And I'm gonna be showing you exactly how you can start and build yours from the ground up or audit your entire existing business, see what you're lacking and improve it from there. Now, me, myself, I'm on track to do over $1 million in profit this year at just 22 years old, but I didn't always start here. 2 years ago, I used to work a 9 to 5 just like everyone else. Obviously, I was doing my side hustles at the time. I was building up my skill set, but I still worked a 9 to 5. I got fired actually from every 9 to 5 I ever worked. Now, throughout these 2 years, I mastered everything there is to know about the online coaching space. And whether you're starting off or whether you're running your info business already, watching this video will 100% take your income to the next level. Now, diving right into it, to achieve this, all you need to know is the knowledge that I'm about to give you and the discipline and consistency to execute it and make sure you can get the results. There's no point of watching this for hours if you do not implement everything I'm about to give you. People paid me tens of thousands, 15s of thousands for dollars for this. So whatever I'm about to tell you is what I used to run in my old program, where people would pay me $15,000 for me to teach them this over 6 months. And right now I'm gonna be breaking down it for you over the next few hours. Now, before we get just into the details, I want to say this, and I don't want to say this in a way to flex. I like to think I'm a humble guy. I don't flex, but I want to set the standard a little bit. I live the average person's dream life. And what I mean by that is I get to travel wherever I want. I get to buy whatever I want. I get to do whatever I want at any given point. I have no restrictions to myself. I went and bought my dream car. I went and bought a house for my parents. I literally can do whatever I want. In fact, I'm currently in Miami. 2 weeks ago, I was in Bali. Before that, I was in another country. And throughout this whole process, I've been making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. So just a quick overview before we get into anything. This video is for you. Again, if you are a creator who wants to start a coaching company, if 2, you want to start getting into creating content and making money on social media online, and maybe just looking for different business models to start, and 3, you have a current coaching company and want to take it to the next level. Now, before I get into the fundamentals, I want to break down 150K in 30 days case study. And right before I do that, I want to show you that I'm not just another guy on the internet that claims to know everything they're talking about. I want to show you that I've worked with some of the biggest names in the space. I've helped them out with their businesses, taken these exact systems, implemented it for them, and it has worked. And some of the names I've worked with are right here: Vincent Fisher, Hadi Abdel, Hussein Farhat, Sneeko, and huge creators that are absolutely crushing it, that I have worked with personally one-on-one to take them to the next level. I want to share a case study on how one of my clients made $150,000 in 30 days. I'm going to break down exactly how this works throughout the whole system so you guys can see everything live before I break down the components in each. So as you can see, we have the payment processor fan bases here, 150K in 30 days, which is 28K the month before that. How did we do it? I'm going to be breaking down this exact case study into detail so you can see exactly how everything works. Starting off with what he already had. So my client came in with a 2K ticket coaching offer. He was making 20K a month-ish with his current offer. That's what he did in the last month. He was doing between 20 to 30, on the lower end, like 15, 20. He had 27,000 followers on his Instagram. He had a busy fulfillment system, meaning he had no time. He worked a job during the day. He was in school. He had so much going on. He did not have the time to sit there and focus on this company and help take it to the next level. And he was relying on content 2 to 3 times a week to scale. He's only posted 2 to 3 times. He wasn't posting the best content. So what did we do now? Let's get into the exact systems that we built. The first thing is we reconstructed his offer to be more foolproof and less time intensive on his hand. So you get the same exact results without him directly sitting there and implementing hours of his effort starting off. How did we do that? We structured the fulfillment system to where we had someone else running the main fulfillment. The clients were still getting the same results, and at the same time, he was sparing his time and not sitting there involved inside the business, but rather taking the actions he needed to move the needle. Next thing we did is locked in a specific niche, pain point, and unique marketing angle for him. With a more specific offer, we had the ability to charge a 6K ticket rather than a 2K ticket. Now, how do you do this? You basically create more leverage with your brand. So rather than sitting there and saying, hey, I have 2K and it's gonna give this, this, and this, but you wanna charge more and you wanna make more money off of it, you add to two things. You either add deliverables or you add time. So let's say, I'm going to throw a random example. You have a coaching company, fitness coaching. Let's say you have fitness coaching, you charge $2K for 3 months. If you want to get a more heavy upfront payment, you can charge $5K for a year, something like that, right? Or you can charge a $5K and now they get more one-on-one with you. Maybe they hop on a call every single day rather than hopping on once every 2 weeks. Whatever the circumstances are, you always want to increase or decrease the time and the actual elements of the fulfillment system whenever you want to change the prices on your product. So what we did was we built leverage and we upped the prices to 6K in this specific example. Now with this new niche, we had to attract more quality leads to the door. Now how do we do this? We implemented something I like to call the brand pipeline, and I'll go ahead and break down exactly what that is later, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that for now. We implemented my mechanism called the brand pipeline. Now, after implementing the brand pipeline, with time starting to run out on its head, we hired the proper team to buy it back. So we hired the proper team members, allowed a backend system to track the metrics, showed where we were lacking, showed what we needed to take it to the next level, and that's exactly what we did. So now, here are the numbers. So the business is on autopilot. 15K was from the older offer. Then we upped the ticket price to 6K. So we made 15K that month, just recurring off the old one. Then we upped the price to 6K. Through his current following, establishing the proper banding, and posting the proper content every single day, we closed an extra $55,000 organically, and this was not from a huge increase of followers. We didn't just go viral all of a sudden, get 1 million followers and convert these guys. Instead, we took the guys we already had, we nurtured them more, and we added slight more directed, targeted, qualified leads to his actual offer that would purchase it immediately. After that, we implemented a paid traffic system for faster lead flow. We spent $4,000 on ads and averaged 133 leads a day. 4K ad spend brought in 15K profile visit. Here's the exact number breakdown. 350 followers out of that. 118 of those followers were qualified. Out of those 118 qualified followers, we had 40 booked calls and 14 closes, leading to $86,000 in cash collected, which means the total offer at the end was 15K was the old offer he was making, 55K made organically on this one, 86K paid, 152K profit post-marketing. After he paid the team in terms of percentages, salary, he pocketed $144,000 from just making 28 that last month. So he made 144K in the following month through implementing everything I just said. And that is a case study that overviews his entire system. And now I'm going to get into the exact components on every single part that you need to make this for yourself. So starting off with step one, this is called building the foundation. Now, building the foundation is the most important part. You need the root of the tree before you can have the branches and the stems and the leaves, right? And everything else that most people are doing right now is adding on to these branches. They're building these leaves out, but they don't have the proper base. You need something that's going to be foolproof. You need something that's going to last through a lifetime. And you need an offer that is irresistible. And only then can you focus on the external components you need to take things to the next level. Okay, now the first step to this is to define your market and niche. Now, there's two different things that we do in terms of markets. There's a B2B market and there's a B2C market. And before you scale, you need to know exactly who you are scaling for. 99% of consultants and coaches try to build systems without even understanding who their market is or who the ideal person they want to buy from them is. So here are the two worlds. There's a B2B space and there's a B2C space, and each one has completely different rules, marketing strategies, and angles that you have to position yourself with. Starting off with B2B, this is business to business. Who you're selling to, you are selling to founders, teams, business owners. Now, their motivation is they want return on investment, efficiency, and leverage. They already understand the concept of business. They're already businessmen. They just want you to help take them to the next level. They buy based on logic, speed, and your system. So based on the value that you know, based on what you say, based on the stuff that you implement, they will buy off of that rather than just looking at what you have, because they are also business owners. And you need proof, clarity, and back-end strength. So you need lots of case studies if you want this to be successful eventually down the line. You need a lot of leverage on your own brand itself to show exactly what you're talking about and why you are the best person in the market. And I have some examples that you guys can kind of go through and look at for yourself to make sure and see kind of how people are doing this. These are all consultants that are in the space right now. You guys can look through this. All of these guys go and help other coaches scale, and they run B2B, meaning they only help other businesses. So an example of a B2B in my specific space would be helping someone like a fitness coach take their company from 10K to 50K. Again, they're only generating revenue, right? They're the same thing with that case study. They're already making a good bit of money. Now, the other type of market in this space is B2C. This is business to consumer. So who you're selling to is individuals that are driven by the emotion, the lifestyle, and the identity that you have. They're basically buying the person and the lifestyle outcome. B2C would be me taking someone from 0 to 10K a month versus B2B is me taking someone from 10K to 50K a month. Now, their motivation is by transforming their health, confidence, purpose, having that time, location freedom. They buy based on belief, story, and emotion. They want the outcome. They don't necessarily care that much about the logic. Obviously, they want to hear the logic as well, but at the same time, Compared to B2B, logic is a direct leverage point that will get someone to buy from you, whereas B2C, you selling the lifestyle is the main thing that will get people to buy from you. Now, you need to prove connection, authority, and social proof in this. So here's some examples. You guys have 100% seen these guys. You've at least seen this guy right here. Everyone knows him. Boom. This is B2C market. This is helping people start making money, making their first 10K a month online. Charlie Morgan, helping people start selling information online. Very similar to what I do. Right over here, Nigel, another fitness coach, helping people escape their traditional 9-to-5. Again, so all these guys are examples of B2C people that will help people from starting points, and they're going to market it by showing off their lifestyle, showing what they have, showing the life that other people can obtain because they are living it themselves, and that is their unique selling point. Now, once you understand which world you're playing in, your content, your offer, and your delivery should have to line up with that exact psychology so you can position yourself properly and actually attract the people you are attempting to attract. Now, here's a very common mistake that I see most coaches make in this space. They sit in the middle and they talk like they're B2B and sell like they're B2C. So they want to talk about the value and the logic behind it, but they want to position themselves as this guy with a cool car and the nice penthouse and nice balcony and whatever the circumstances are. They mix up their messaging, and that's exactly why, rather than attracting both, they attract neither, and their business stays plateaued where it's at. Now, they post emotional content but offer logical solutions. They attract the wrong people, blame the leads. You can't market emotion and deliver with spreadsheets. It has to match at the same time. Now, what is the fix? To lock in your niche, you want 3 levels of clarity. You want 1 is the who, the exact person or company that you serve. 2 is the problem. What is the pain that keeps them stuck where they are? And what is the end result? Which leads to 3rd, which is the promise, the outcome that your system delivers. So what is the person? What is their unique problem? And what is your solution to their problem and their end outcome after they are done working with you? Now, moving on to the next segment, you want to decide whether you're a B2B or a B2C when it comes to your info offer, because every move after this depends on your offer, your system, your content. Everything depends on what you pick in this exact moment. So what type of program you want to have. Once you know who you're serving, the next step is to decide how exactly am I going to do that. And this is where most people mess it up. They build programs around what they want to teach, not around what the market actually needs and can handle. Your model has to match your audience's level, your bandwidth, and your goals. There are 4 main ways to structure a coaching offer, and each one has its own pros, cons, and its exact scaling path. I will show you all 4 of them right now. Number 1 is having a passive course. Now, I just want to say before I get into these, I recommend going with 3 or 4 to make the most amount of money, especially when you're starting off or getting to that 100K a month mark. After 100K a month, you can maybe look at 1 or 2, but I will still break them all down for you because, as I said, this breakdown will have everything you need. Now, starting off with the first model type, this is the passive course builder. This is do it yourself. How this consists of is pre-recorded course, minimal live touch points. So you want to kind of have everything already structured. This is great for beginners or low ticket front end funnels. More just have something like Iman Gaji, where he has an online product. You go in, everything's already recorded and done. The whole fulfillment system's done. You just go in, give it to them, and they bang it out. The pros are it doesn't take any of your time, and it's super, super, super scalable. The cons are there's very low client success because you're not working with these guys one-on-one, weak testimonials, and at the same time, you're not providing huge amounts of value because at the end of the day, the world upgrades. Every single day, the world is new. There's something new coming out, and when you have something pre-recorded, it needs to be consistently updated if you're going to make it the best product in the market. Now, this model is to build reach, not relationships. Use it if you want volume and not transformation. Model 2 is a done with you. This is kind of having a mid 8 to 16 week group or hybrid one-on-one structure with high support, direct feedback, measurable results. It's the best balance of freedom and results, but the cons are it requires your presence and lots of back-end systems. Now, this is where most 6-7-figure consultants have structured curriculum, but not the accountability aspect. It's not super one-to-one, it's just a little bit. Now moving on to model 3, which I recommend for everyone watching this video, is a done with / done for you hybrid model. How this works is you are the coach and you partially implement. Now, the pros of this are you have premium pricing, guaranteed outcomes. Cons are you need a team and a type of fulfillment system. This is for people who you want to maybe help out, give some guidance to give other people the steps, but at the same time, implement some of the systems yourself for your clients so they can benefit from it. So it's half an agency, half a consulting model. And this model does great because you can charge a high ticket and you have direct involvement in the business so you can ensure client success. This is for coaches who have mastered the strategy and can add execution, and it's an easy way to bridge to 100K a month. The last model is a scalable hybrid coaching. This is what I personally run. This, you can have multiple clients. You can scale the back end, blended support. The only difference between this and model 3 is you are not doing things directly. You are more from the consulting angle. So you're telling exactly what to do. You're helping out with the systems, but you yourself are not involved inside the business. You don't have a percentage and you're not doing the physical actions every single day, but rather consulting and helping out only where you're needed when it comes to being hands-on. The pros are you have infinite leverage, brand reach, mastermind potential. Cons are you need heavy systems. Everything needs to be super dialed in, and you need an operator that can ensure client success because eventually you don't want to be the one that's talking to 100 clients every single week, but rather overviewing and make sure your clients are winning with your knowledge. Now, this model is for coaches who just want to scale into a company and more than just a personal brand. So if you want to go corporate, it, use this model. Now to choose your model, ask yourself these 3 important questions. How involved do I want to be on a day-to-day basis? What level of transformation do I want to deliver? And how fast do I want to scale? And how much margin am I okay with giving up to team and automation? So the first thing is, how involved do I want to be day-to-day? Do we want to do one-on-one? Do I not want to be involved at all? Do I just want to go to sleep all day and let these guys buy whatever they want? Second is, what level of transformation? Do I want to sit there one-on-one, make sure these guys grow? Do I want to just send them on there with the content? If they implement it, they'll win, but a lot of these guys won't have that accountability aspect. How do we want to play that? And the last thing is, how fast do I want to scale, and how much margin do I want to give up? Do I want to hire multiple team members and then scale it long term? Do I want to just get a quick money hit? Do I launch a low ticket and just get all the people in for my following right now and get people to buy and just make a little bit of cash on hand? Don't overcomplicate it. Pick one model, commit to it, and build the system around it, because you can't scale what keeps changing. You can only scale what stays consistent, which is exactly why you need to pick one of these. Now, the next section I want to talk about when it comes to building your foundation is how to price your service. Low ticket versus high ticket. Your price is not just a number, it's a statement. It tells the market how serious your offer is and what level of clients you attract to your business. Low ticket prices attract people who need help. High ticket prices attract people who are ready to change. So before you price your service, you have to decide, do you want to build a volume-based business or a high impact business? A volume-based business is having a large amount of people for a lower ticket price, so $100, and you have thousands of people that are in it to make that same amount of money. The other side is maybe you have 10, 100 clients max, and you're charging a high ticket price. Either way, you'll make the same amount of money. Just depends on the marketing angle you want to go. I always recommend starting off with high ticket, unless you're a huge creator with a massive audience that maybe don't have the largest amount of money. You want to leverage that, get that out the way first, and then launch a high ticket. But high ticket will always make you more money and leverage down the line. Now, moving on to the next section, defining the 2 lanes. What is low ticket versus high ticket? Low ticket, under $2,000, it plays on impulse and accessibility. So accessible to the masses. You need a massive volume and a tight funnel to make it work. It's great for brand reach or entry-level offers. The downside is you have low retention, weak client commitment, less case study potential, and you're going to have less results overall, obviously, because it's going to be a lower ticket service. You're not going to be involved one-on-one with these guys. Low ticket clients rarely do the work because they're not invested enough to care. Now, high ticket, 3 to 15K plus. This focuses on commitment and transformation. Clients expect structure, proof, accountability. They want everything, the exact roadmap you're going to do for them laid out, kind of how I'm making this exact video. Fewer clients, higher margins, and deeper impact. High ticket clients pay attention because they've got skin in the game. They paid a shit ton of money. They want the outcome out of it. They don't just want to waste that money, throw it in the trash. Now, what is the pricing formula? You always want to price based on your outcome. A lot of people right now think that, oh, I should price based on how long I'm going to be working or how many hours I'm going to have to do it. Wrong. You want to only price based on the outcome that you are creating. And how do you do that? You want to ask yourself, what is the tangible outcome you create? Are you taking people from 10K a month to 50K a month? Are you taking people from 0 to 3K a month? Are you taking people from 0 to 1K a month? Are you making people $100? Based on that, you want to ask yourself, how long are they benefiting from what you build? Are you building them a business that will last them generations? Are you helping them that will only help them for a month? Are you helping them lose 5 pounds and then maybe they're good to go after that for life? You want to see how long this result lasts and what the long-term outcome of it. And the third thing you want to ask yourself is the market perception. What is your authority level in the space? Are you an expert? Are you seen as someone who's building up there? Are you seen as a leader in your category? Depending on how you're perceived is how you can calculate your pricing to the actual market. Now, these 4 factors factored together is the real value. If your system adds 100K to guys in yearly revenue, you can easily charge 10 to 15K. It's not expensive. It is very, very logical. If your system adds 2K to someone's ear, you can charge more on the couple $100 line, if you see what I mean. Now, common pricing traps. Most people copy their competitors' pricing. That's how they trap themselves. You don't want to copy people. Let's say the next guy had the same offer as me for $1,000. If I had a $10,000 offer, they had a $1,000 offer, you would go to me because I have more leverage, and mine in the market perception comes off as, okay, this guy must be giving off more value because it's based more. You can't sell $100,000 a year lifestyle dream end goal. That's a solution, and you're going to sell a 1K ticket because people are going to see it as worth it. They're going to think this guy's scamming. He just wants 1K. He's going to make me 100K. That's not how it works, which is why you need to price properly. So most people undercharge, get overwhelmed, can't deliver, have no proof, and stay stuck at where they are. If you're attracting uncommitted clients or doing too much a little for your pricing, that is the problem, and it is not your performance. The goal is not to sell expensive offers. It's to build high-value systems that deserve premium pricing. Price based on transformation, deliver with the proof, and let your results close the next client for you. Now, section 4 is going to talk about how to offer the proper guarantee that attaches with this pricing that's going to ensure that you grow and make sure people are going to buy your offer. Now, the biggest reason people don't buy is fear, right? The number one fear when you're going to be buying from me or you're buying from the next person, always going to be, what if I pay this guy and I don't get what I pay for? I don't get the result. I don't make the money. I don't get the physique I want. Now, they don't fully believe they'll get the result. So your guarantee exists for the sole purpose to remove that fear completely off their plate. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can structure one in terms of your business strictly. Now, here are the 3 types of guarantees you can offer. The first one is an unconditional guarantee. This is a full refund. If you're not happy, you get your money back, no questions asked. This is more for a do-it-yourself type of program where you have something there. If they don't like it, they get the money back. Keeps everyone happy at the end of the day. Good customer service, right? The pros are total confidence, super low friction. The cons are it's very risky for beginners. You lose a lot of money. A lot of people will get your service and withdraw just because they have that fear. And you're going to attract low commitment clients. You're going to attract people that would have and like the idea of escaping. You don't want people to like the idea. You want them to stay committed so they can actually get the result. So this works best for low ticket or digital programs where the fulfillment cost is very low. Accountability guarantees is personally what I use and what everyone else should use if you're selling a high ticket product, which is if you do the work and don't get the promised result, we'll keep working with you until you do or give your money back. So let's say I say I'm going to make you $0 to $10,000 in the next 3 months. If you work with me, you implement everything I say, and you do not get to that $10,000 a month mark, I will give you all your money back. That is a guarantee now that you remove the fear to where the two ends are. You're either going to leave working with me with $10,000 a month, or you're going to get all your money back and you didn't end up spending anything in the first place. This completely removes the fear out their head. Now, the pros of this: strong conversion, filter serious clients only. How it works is each client must complete certain checkpoints like implementing your framework, submitting deliverables, and showing activity so they actually got the work done, rather than them joining the program claiming that, oh, okay, this didn't work for me, when they didn't actually do anything and then they ask for the money back. They have to actually execute the steps, because the steps is what's going to take them to that level in the first place. The last thing is, if you have a program where you're delivering good results and you want to capitalize off of it, you want to do a performance-based guarantee. So this is pay X now and pay the rest once you get the results. So let's say I'm saying I'll help you get to your first 10K month, pay me $5K now and then pay me an extra $5K once I make you the $10,000. This is a performance guarantee, because it's like, okay, now you're going to make the $10,000, and when you do, you're going to pay me off of that. So technically you didn't miss out on any money. Now, the risk reversal formula is the formula on how you should make this guarantee. You want to remove the fear, show confidence, and reinforce it with proof. If you're doing your job right, delivering real systems and results, a guarantee is not a liability, it's an amplifier. Guarantees don't make you sound desperate, they make you sound certain, because when you know your system works, you can put your name and your money behind it. Section 5, how to stand out from the market. Most consultants think they need to stand out by doing more, whether it's more content, more angles, more noise, more controversy, but that's exactly why the market ignores it, because they're trying too hard. You don't stand out by being louder, you stand out by being more clear and positioning yourself properly. The brands that win are the ones that are simple, direct, and unforgettable. Straight to the point, and make it to where you realize that this will have the value and don't think twice. Now, there's 3 levels of differentiation. Standing out comes down to 3 levers, and if you pull these properly, your market cannot ignore you. The first thing is you want to take a stand. Call out while others won't. Call out the bullshit industry. Call out everything based on your own opinions, because they're going to buy you as a person. Have opinions strong enough that they repel the wrong people and magnetize the right ones. When people follow and they like what you have to say, they're going to become loyal followers. When people don't like it, they're going to stray themselves. So position yourself in a way to where you're only attracting people that agree with you, whereas the rest are just going away, and you're only bringing in customers. Playing it safe kills attention. Polarization builds loyalty with your audience. 2, show your system. Most consultants hide behind buzzwords. You want to show the exact process. So show people the clear roadmap, the clear framework, the clear steps, the clear data backed on your system. You rise above the noise when you give them the exact technicalities. I'm giving you the exact technicalities right now. Watching this video, you'll realize, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. That's going to give you just the clarity. So not only me as a person, you're going to buy because you're like, okay, you know what, this guy knows what he's talking about. Seems like a cool guy. But at the same time, I'm giving you the exact steps so you can see for yourself what the system is. The third is behave like an authority. The way you show up in the market defines your positioning a lot more than what you say. Speak like a leader, post with conviction, show proof of every week. The market watches how you move, not just what you post. If I were to get on this call and I was like, yeah, the market's going to show, you'd be like, what the hell is this guy doing, right? You need the conviction, you need the confidence in your voice. So have that. Your actions need to match your words, and you will dominate by default. Now, most people try to stand out by copying what's already working for someone else, but that just makes you another version of them, not the next evolution. You want to be better. Now, I'm not saying you have to go find your own path and have your own storyline and do everything from scratch. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. What you need to do is show that your wheel spins faster. So don't try to recreate and copy someone else's thing word by word. You want to show that you have the better system, or you upgraded what someone else had already to the market. Now, section 6 goes into how to structure the perfect low ticket offer or downsell to your actual main program. The low ticket should fund trust, not replace the transformation. Everyone wants a $97 product or a $297 course, but most people have no idea why they're selling it in the first place. The low ticket offer isn't to make money. It isn't about getting rich. It's about creating qualified believers to then bridge into the high ticket. It's the bridge between your free content and your premium program. Think of it as a paid test drive for your system. The real purpose of a low ticket offer is to build instant trust and proof, qualify who's serious about taking the next step, and show your system works even on a small scale. Now, there's 5 components of a strong low ticket offer. Number 1 is fast win, something you can use to see results from in 24 to 48 hours. Number 2, simple delivery, have it recorded or pre-built, no heavy fulfillment. Number 3 is the proof layer, include case studies, walkthroughs, showing how others use it. Number 4 is an upsell path, have a clear next step. If this works for you, here's how we install the 4 system. So get them over to the high ticket from the low ticket, use it as a bridge. And number 5, automation, instant delivery through Stripe, email, onboarding, everything completely systemized. Your low ticket offer should build trust, not headaches. Keep it simple, valuable, and connected directly to your high ticket system. That's how you turn a $97 product into a $10,000 client down the line. Now that covers the entirety of building that foundation in your business. Before we get into everything else, it's gonna be structured around high ticket. So I'm gonna do a little more digging into the low ticket just so you guys can have the proper information and you know everything about that side of things as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive into how to build the proper low ticket offer. After that, all the systems I talk about will be to scale the high ticket offer. So a low ticket offer exists to start a relationship, not replace your main one. There's 3 proven low ticket structures. Number 1 is having a Discord or school community, having some sort of online community. The goal is to build a paid environment around education, connection, and accountability. Number 2 is having an online guide or a mini course, so having like a mini info guide, or for fitness, having a 5-day split workout plan people can purchase, so on and so forth. The purpose of this is to deliver fast results and show proof of concept, so proof that you know what you're talking about. The last thing is having a hybrid model, so getting a good bit of both, and this helps you get leverage and more connection out of your low ticket offer. It's also on the higher end of low ticket. You would charge a little more since you are giving them both. Now, diving into each one, having a Discord or school community, the structure is having a monthly or a one-time entry fee. So either $1,000 for a year or $47 a month. You have a centralized community, build it on something like Discord or school. Inside, they have Q&As, discussions, private resources, and member-only challenges and updates. Keep the guys engaged, gamify it so people stay, they pay by month, and they get the actual value out of it that they paid for. Use Discord for speed, school for more organized delivery. Now, why this works, it builds community and belonging, it creates consistent nurture for back-end conversions, and it's easy to automate. You can add an AI to all of these systems, which I'll break down as well, but these will help you kind of systemize everything to make life easier and have your course and your actual community running on the back end. The next thing is this online guide. The structure of this is having a one-time purchase. You want to charge something between $50 and $300. Having a short video course, having a Notion guide, worksheets, templates, checklists. You can host it on school. You can host it on Notion. You can host it on whatever you want. Just have that kind of guide there. Name it after the result, not the content. So have a clear name for the actual result that they're going to get and charge a one-time low ticket price for them to get access to this resource. Why this works, it gives instant credibility plus a win. It scales indefinitely with zero effort, and it feeds warm leads into DMs or a higher ticket funnel down the line. Now, the last thing is mixing both. Now, how does this include? You either have that $197 one-time fee, or you do a higher ticket fee, so more like around the $1,000, $2,000 mark range for the year for both. This includes having the Discord and the school, something along those lines, having a video library, having the guides, having the resources, having the templates, having the community as well. So everything you talked about the other two, basically maximizing the profit out of them and having both components in there. You can even go live 1 or 2 calls a month with the actual community, giving them a little bit of one-on-one. Now, hybrid low ticket offers build trust community while collecting cash from people who aren't ready for the high ticket yet. So if they have maybe financing up to $1,000, but they can't finance up to $10,000, this is the perfect structure for them. Now, low ticket offers, once again, are not meant to make you rich. I want to really emphasize this because a lot of people think they're going to launch it, they're going to make a lot of money. It's not made for that. It's made to make you trust. Once someone buys from you and once they win, you'll never have to sell to them again. Your low ticket is the handshake that leads to a contract. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is making sure that you know what your fulfillment system looks like and how should you know if you have a good fulfillment system. You want to structure your result into proper framework. So break it up into steps, right? For me right now, I'm showing you step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You want to do the same thing for your fulfillment system, whatever delivery you're providing, whatever one-to-one access they have, whatever their roadmap is to get from where their starting point is to the end result that you're delivering, you want to have it stepped. So you want to have, this is the first thing we're going to do, this is the second, this is what's next, and this is the outcome for each stage. And when you structure your fulfillment system like that, you can build the entire backend around it. So you can structure the one-on-one calls around it, you can structure the modules around it, but you need to establish a framework of this actual system for it to be successful. Now, moving on into how to addressing this to the market. So we're going to talk a little bit about step 2, which is building the proper socials so you actually convey the right message to the market and you show the market what you have to offer. Now, how to create the perfect Instagram profile. Instagram is going to be your number one source of everything. Instagram and YouTube is going to drive most of your leads. This is how you create the perfect Instagram profile. The first thing is you want to start off with the actual brand. So over here, clean. You always want your name as the actual handle. So have your name. I have my name. I have an abbreviation of my name, but you want to have your name as the handle. Have a clean profile picture, something that shows authority, something that shows leverage, something that shows you know what you're talking about. I have the check mark there. Obviously, I'm verified. You don't have to be. But again, verification helps. Again, builds that leverage, builds that authority. Next thing is you want to have a clean bio. So over here, my bio, it shows credibility statement. It shows my company. Did 100K a month with my coaching company. Now I help others do the same. It talks about my unique offer. So I have a leverage credibility statement. I have my unique offer, and I have a clear CTA last DM me create to start. You want to follow a similar framework, have some sort of leverage, have your direct offer, and have a keyword or a CTA for people to begin. And the CTA doesn't have to be DM word. It can be like a link to a YouTube video that you have. But at the end of the day, there needs to be some sort of call to action where you're redirecting the people that come to over to your profile. Now, the next thing under this is my story highlights. You want to show that you know what you're talking about. Story highlights are going through by most people, even me doing this live for so long now. Most of my people buy off of me off of the story highlights rather than they do off the reels. I'm going to show you exactly what you need. You need something that talks about your storyline. So the start here is what I have that talks about my story, where I come from, where I am now, the struggles I faced, and how I got to the point where I'm sitting here right now making this video. So the start here is the first thing, and that breaks down that entire process. Now after that, I have a bunch of clients. I actually storyline my clients' fulfillment system, my clients' results, so if other people can go on it, they can see where my clients came in at, they can see the value drops I have, and they can see the exact things I implemented with them to take them to the next level. That is all in these highlights. Now the next thing you want to worry about is how to create the proper content. I know a lot of people struggle with this. It's probably my most commonly asked question. How do I know what's going to bring the right people in? Now, I want you to think of this as almost a funnel itself. So the profile will be your number one funnel for bringing people in because you want to build authority through it. So look at your pin posts first. You want to have pin posts that talk exactly about what you do. And I'll show you how I have my pin posts. If you go to my Instagram now, I'll have different ones. I upgrade them every so often so you can see exactly how I do it. You want 3 types of pin posts. You want one that talks about your personality, personal journey, or just relates to you personally. You want one that talks about value, so shows that you know what you're talking about. It's used as a trust builder. And you want one that's credibility, showing that you are someone they can buy from. You help people in their space and you have the proof to back it up. My 3 pin posts, I have one that's personal right here, one that's credibility right here, and then one that's value right here. So same exact framework. Now the type of content you want to create is very similar to this as well. There's 3 types of value to post on Instagram. There's top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is basically building awareness about the problem that you address. So letting people know that you exist and what your offer is, what you bring to the market. Middle of funnel is teaching people how to choose a solution. So showing people that you know what you're talking about. You can build trust with them. They can follow your steps to actually get the desired outcome they want. Showing them that you have the value to deliver the proper result. And bottom of funnel is explaining why you are the best option. Show the testimonials, other people buying from you. This example of bottom of funnel. Again, I'll go through this with my exact content. Something like this, surprising my mom, my dream car is a top of funnel clip. This is something a lot of people can relate to, but it shows the subtle element of, okay, this guy got a nice car, his dream car, whatever, he knows what he's doing. At the same time, it's wholesome. A lot of people will watch it. It's awareness. So bringing people to the fact that, hey, I bought a nice car, and hey, this is a wholesome thing that everyone can relate to. It's also personality. Now, a middle of funnel is more so like this, exposing how someone's fake. This is giving away exact value on how you can sit there with specific niche targeting to my ICP, ideal client profiles, ICP. That is a name I'll mention a lot, most likely through this video as well. So note that ideal client profile is who the ideal person you're selling to is. What is the person that is going to buy from you? What do they look like? And how to define those metrics. So male, female, how old are they? Where are they from? How much money do they have? What's their before situation? That's your ICP. So middle of funnel is to direct exactly this ICP, give them the direct value so they can listen to you, build trust off of it, and go off of there. And then bottom of funnel is something like this. This is a testimonial, 15 to 40K within a month. This isn't meant to hit 10 million views. It's meant to take the people that have been watching my content and trust me to then go ahead and buy from me. So this is an example of a bottom of funnel content piece. Now, depending on what your positioning is to the market, you want to create content with these 3 types that is going to bring in the ideal client. So overall, the funnel is bring in awareness, show people you exist, show them you have your offer. That's the very top. The next step is funnel these guys in, show them that you have the value, you know what you're talking about, you have the skill set, and you have the knowledge to help them with their exact problem. And then bottom of funnel is show them why you're the best person to work with, why they should buy from you, and why you will get them to your end outcome. Now I'm going to go into how to create the perfect YouTube. The perfect YouTube funnel is super simple, and I'll break down exactly what to do right now. You want to have one centralized asset. So this video right now is my centralized asset. This is where everyone's going to be redirected to. I'm doing exactly what I'm preaching to you guys. This is one centralized asset, something along the lines of giving away all the value, showing off the testimony, showing you know what you're talking about, and having one core video that serves as the foundation of your YouTube channel. Now, this video should be the closest video you have to your offer, whether it's a case study, free value, awareness, whatever it is, the closest thing you can get to your offer. For me, it's the exact breakdown on what I do. After that, drive eyes through top and middle of funnel content to the YouTube page. So I have my centralized asset that has all the value in there. I'm going to redirect all my traffic to this exact video. And then that goes straight to a CTA, whether it's to work with me, DM me a word, follow me on Instagram, whatever it is, but then it redirects. So I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm telling you guys, have one centralized asset, something like this that has everything related to your offer inside. Then post top of funnel content and middle of funnel content. So post awareness content, let people know, bring them to your YouTube show, middle of funnel to build more trust. Get them to watch a video like this. Get them to watch a centralized asset. Once they watch that, you can then leverage it and push them over to a CTA, whatever it is, to apply to work with you. Now, how to utilize other socials. Instagram and YouTube is going to bring in 99% of your traffic, but it doesn't hurt to post on other things. You always want to post depending on growth for Instagram and YouTube. So don't think, oh, these type of clips do better on TikTok. I should post that on TikTok because my TikTok's growing well. It doesn't matter. You always want to post the content that'll grow your Instagram and your YouTube the most. So whatever's working the best on Instagram, post it on TikTok as well. Whatever's doing best on YouTube, post it on TikTok and post it on Twitter. So how you do this. Instagram and YouTube are home base, but if you want real reach, you need satellite platforms that feed it. TikTok brings the attention, X brings the credibility, and together they make your brand unavoidable. So focus on Instagram and YouTube in terms of content, repurpose these into other platforms like TikTok and X. Now, as a quick breakdown, I'm gonna go through my new page, my new upgraded Instagram page to show you guys exactly what I just talked about and how I implement it all live. So right here, again, clean handle. I have a credibility statement, over 30 million generated for my creators. 100K a month on my coach company, not others do the same. That's my unique offer. Clear CTA, DM me the word create to start. Clean profile picture, shows authority, shows leverage. Right off the bat, we go into story highlights. My start here explains my exact story, my overview. This is everything I've done. This is people I work with. This is free value on YouTube that they can benefit from. This is my personal story, how I came to where I am, my unique mechanisms, my own journey, and my blueprint. And from there, I have a CTA at the end that drives people to work with me. Now, my clients shows the exact storyline of all my clients that have come in and the results. So right off the bat, I have the context of the actual thing. I have a specific client that came to me. I show the exact things I did for this client. And after that, I lead over to a CTA, which is then, boom, right here. Here's a video of him giving me a testimonial on working with me, right? So I took the exact problem he had. I put it into a storyline. I put it into a video, and I went ahead and leveraged it, built out the entire pipeline, showed exactly what I did, and I put the end result, and I built it up with credibility with a reel and a testimonial that he made for me. And I do this for all of my client testimonials. If you look at them again, context, I go ahead, I introduce one specific client, I show their bottleneck, and then I go into the results of what I did. And you guys can look through my Instagram, obviously, if you want more details and context. I'm just skimming through this, but then I supplement it with a video testimonial. Now, my page itself, again, the pin post, I have one that's personal branding right here. It shows authority, shows leverage. Boom, this guy knows what he's talking about. I have a cool slideshow. Okay, this guy must be doing well in life, right? This is more personality. Over here as well, the one I showed you, I have a big caption talking about my lifestyle. Over here, I have showing off consistency. So people hating on me, and now people are asking me what I do. All of this is personal branding. After that, you want to go into value. So value right here is 5 moves into my business. So this is 5 moves that other people can implement. They'll take their business or their life to the next level. Boom. Right off the bat, it's value. Obviously, it's a carousel. You can do it in a format of a reel. It does not matter. It just needs to be value at the end of the day. So boom, value drop. Now, the last thing is credibility statement. So $50 million results for my clients, what we did for each client. And this is the exact bottom of funnel type of clip that's going to get people to convert. Now, if you look over at my reels, I'll break down the exact examples as well. So right over here is an example of a middle of funnel clip. So breaking down the exact team members that you need to hire to bring your info business to $100,000. This is a middle of funnel piece of content. This is going to show people this is exactly who you need to hire if you really want to scale your company. This is who you need. Now, this is a top of funnel, 500K in watches. Just to bring awareness, is going to catch eyes. It's a little bit controversial. It's like people know what they're talking about. And it's me talking about this new watch that I bought that now makes me have $500,000 in watches. Whatever the circumstances are, it's more made for awareness. It's not made to get people to buy from me, right? And now bottom of funnel specifically is, again, just a testimonial. Someone sitting there talking about what their experience was working me, what the results I got were, and showing people that I am the solution to their problem in the market. So I preach the exact same things I'm telling you now. And you want to work with ratios when you're doing this. You don't just want to slap on a bunch of content that go from multi types of funnels. There's a ratio, and you want to do 5 top of funnel, 4 middle of funnel, and 1 bottom of funnel for every 10 pieces of content. So a story highlight is a piece of content, a reel is a piece of content, a post is a piece of content, 5 top of funnel that show awareness, 4 that nurture and show value, and 1 that is focused on conversion, getting people to buy from you, or a direct CTA that shows people where to work with you from. Now, I do have a flight to catch, so we're going to have a little bit of a change of scenery before I go through everything else in this program. Bear with me. All right, we are back home in New York, and we're going to finish up the rest of this. So I know we left off talking about Instagram and how to optimize, and I want to go through a few examples right now of some of my clients that I personally work with and show you exactly what they do and give you a bunch of examples on everything we just talked about before I go into YouTube. So going right into it, my first client right here is going to be someone named Dirk German. This is a fitness coaching client that I have, and I'll show you exactly what he did and also explain something I didn't touch base on earlier, which is some really valuable sauce for anyone watching this. So right off the bat, I help busy people get aesthetic with macro manipulation custom training programs, CTA. Boom, clean profile picture. He has the pin post optimizing exactly what he needs to do, and he's posting the proper content. Middle of funnel content right here, giving you exact workout structure. Transformation right here in terms of showing a major transformation on how he got to where he is. Top of funnel. Bottom of funnel clip will be conversion focus. This whole client's results tab, this is all bottom of funnel, showing off all these testimonials, right? The whole purpose is to get people to buy from him. So exact same structure. Again, let's go over to my other fitness coaching client, Hattie. Now, Hattie in particular has his brand already established, so all he needs to do is run coaching off of it. But you see over here again, bottom of funnel online coaching testimonials. He posts a value content. So value content is how to do this workout, or in this case ties in with his brand, which is more the aggressive workouts. That's actually all he posts, but his brand is very unique to where top and middle of funnel actually combine both. So you guys can kind of think of the same mechanism when it comes to yours. There's ways to combine them with each. Going over to my client, Hussein. Hussein does 1, fitness coaching, and 2, teaching people how to start fitness coaching mentorship. So in regards to this, you can look exactly how he does it. He has 2 pages right here. This is the main one. I'll go over to the other one in just a second, but bottom of funnel, again, mentorship. Right over here, he has value for exercise to grow bigger chest. Again, fitness coaching value. If we go over to the business page, which I will navigate to right now, you see her again, start here, same highlight I just said. You have the mentorship highlights, boom. You have pin, personal, credibility, boom, value. Now inside of this as well, he has business advice. So stuff along the lines of testimonials with his clients and what results they got, credibility as in other people that are big that he's worked with in terms of creators. So every profile is optimized with these 3 types of content I just mentioned. And going on to one of my last clients right here, Vincent Fisher. So Vincent Fisher in particular also follows the same exact structure. So he has top of funnel content. Top of funnel is, again, controversy, showing off something like the car, right? Like this, something that is top of funnel. And there's middle of funnel, right? Providing mental credibility right here in terms of mindset advice, exact steps they can take. He's even hosting a webinar, boom. That's more bottom of funnel. So having the client results over here and at the same time having a webinar, all of these are made for people to go in and buy off of. So these are all the 3 types of content that everyone is using right now in the market to actually get to where they need to go. Now, one thing I want to touch on before we get into YouTube is something I like to call a unique mechanism. Now, what that is simply taking your brand and taking your fulfillment system and turning it into a unique mechanism name that is portrayed as new to the market. So obviously the market has a bunch of stuff. You have Brez saying freelance brand scaling, right? It's just another name for a marketing agency. You have Dirk right here, prime example, who has macro manipulation. All that means is meal planning and dieting the right way. But one coach saying, oh, I'll teach you how to have a good meal plan, and the other coach saying, I'll teach you how to use macro manipulation. One sounds more high-end and premium, and it sounds like it's something that hasn't been introduced to the market yet, which is exactly why it works. So what you want to start doing is looking at your brand, look at your fulfillment system, and see how you can come up with a unique mechanism name that'll actually fit into what you do. So as they go through the process and they see what you have to offer, whatever mechanism name it is, they're going to be like, oh, wow, I've never seen this before. This is something interesting. This guy has something that stands out from the rest, and that is how you eliminate your competition to actually grow. So everyone should have a unique mechanism name. For me, myself personally, I like to call it the brand pipeline, where you turn your actual profile and brand into the pipeline and nurture and bringing people through the proper content, which is what I'm showing you guys right now. Everyone has a unique mechanism name that's doing big numbers, so make sure you have one for yourself as well. Now, going on to YouTube, how to create the proper YouTube funnel. You want to have one centralized video asset. And what I mean by that is having one specific video that has a bunch of free value for people. So this could be like a full breakdown. This is literally what I'm doing right now, right? So having a full free breakdown, something like that. Having your full story A to Z with a bunch of value inside on how people can start. Having strict credibility, just a bunch of client testimonials combined into one video. Whatever it is, you want to have one centralized asset that has a shit ton of value in it, that you want to direct all the traffic on your page to. So everyone goes over to that one specific case study or that one specific video or that one specific explanation, free course, whatever it is. Now from that, you want to make top of funnel content. So that is now your bottom of funnel piece of content, and everyone will direct to that. Everything else you do, you want to make it top and middle of funnel. So value and awareness. And you want to bring people in and redirect them all to this one page. So let's say I posted the 6-hour course. The next thing I could post could be, hey, this is my vlog of me going to Dubai. I'm going to Dubai in a few weeks. This is my vlog. Or I just came back from Miami. Actually, that's where I was before. I could be like, hey, look, this was my Miami vlog. And I could post that. And in the bio, I would say, hey, go watch my 6-hour free training next. Go watch my next free program. Go watch my testimonials next. Whatever it is, redirect to that one centralized asset from everything else you post. You want this to be the hub for everything. So create that one long detailed value piece asset, and then bring in people from all other different traffic channels from awareness and value over to that one. Now, this video should be the closest video you have to your offer, whether it's a case study, free value, awareness, as I said. Drive eyes to top and middle funnel content to the YouTube page, redirect all traffic to this asset. And now with this asset, you want to go straight to CTA. So whether it's a Typeform to work with you, whether it's a landing page, whether it's a webinar funnel, whatever you might be running, you want to redirect them from the main video asset to that. So me personally, I would have a Typeform link. So under this video, you'll see a Typeform link. Hey, if you want to work with me, fill out the following application.
application. Or it can redirect to Instagram. Hey, drop me over a follow. Hey, fill out my application. Hey, visit my landing page. Whatever the circumstances are, you want everyone to funnel into one centralized asset, and that one centralized asset to funnel into your actual lead magnet, whether that's an application or for visiting your profile, or whatever funnel you decide to choose. That is exactly how you want to create YouTube content the right way. Now, I've gone over almost everything there is to know about content in terms of how you can start. And I know a lot of people are going to ask, especially I get these questions all day. Hey, like, I don't know what to post. What should I post? Where do I get ideas? How do I know it's going to work? First thing is content is like popcorn. And what I mean by that is it will stay the same until one day it doesn't. So it's going to build up. It's going to build up. The popcorn heats up. It heats up. And then one day or one moment, all of them pop at once. It's not a matter of, oh, okay, well, we're going to see it slowly climbing up 1,000 views a day. It's going to be consistent. And as long as you stay consistent, it's going to blow up one day. Now, how to make sure you're posting the right ideas or the right content or where to get ideas from in the first place, this is what you need to do. First thing is you need to open a Google Sheets document, grab pen and paper, whatever it is, and you need to write down people in your niche that you want to almost learn from or be like. So people that you look up to that are in your space. So people that are doing the same thing you do, let's say you're a fitness coach, look at other fitness coaches, right? Find those people and write them down. That is your competition. But what you want to do is not reinvent the wheel. And what I mean by that is you don't want to come up with some whole new strategy for content no one's ever seen. You want to take what's working for other people and you want to make it better and you want to spin it in regards to your brand in particular. So write down these competitors you have. And once you find these competitors, go through their pages, go through their Facebook ad libraries, look at everything they're doing and see what content is sticking out, what's resonating and what people are watching, what's the most viewed, what has the most likes, what converted the best. You can see who's DMing the most about business stuff off their profile, whatever it is, but find out what's working for them and take that concept. And now once you have that concept, all you have to do is replicate it in your own regard because you have proof of concept. You know it works because it works for them. So why wouldn't it work for you? So you take that same exact idea, you rework it into your own method and you rework it with your own brand touch to it, and then you upload it and it will work. Now, in terms of content, there's trial reels and there's normal reels. Trial reels you want to capitalize on as testing. So normal reels, obviously you post, you see the end outcome and you can judge it based on that. If you have trial reels on your page, which is a rolling out feature, not everyone has it, some people have it, some people don't. If you have it on your page, you want to utilize it to test viral concepts. And how you do that is whatever you have extra, you want to stick to minimum 1 post a day. Let's say you have 10 posts. Let's say you have all the free time in the world, you recorded 10 talking videos, you want to see what does good. You want to post your highest quality post on the main page always. So whatever has the highest quality, took the most amount of time, most amount of effort, whatever you think will do the best, post it, boom. I posted my one for the day on the main page. Now, you have 5 more clips of you talking, so on and so forth, whatever the circumstances are, post these on trial reels, because what trial reels will do is they'll test it to a market of people that don't follow you. So people that have never heard of you, don't know who you are, don't know what you do, will see those videos and you'll be able to directly analyze who's doing well and which one isn't, because you'll see who's interacting with it, who's commenting off of it, who's following you off of it, because again, it's only shown to non-followers. It's the perfect place to collect data based on content. So whatever you have, any new creative concepts you want to test, anything when it comes to, okay, I have extra content, let me just throw it up somewhere rather than waiting. You can throw that all into trial reels, measure performance, and once you measure the performance, you'll be able to see the return and see what's doing well and double down on that concept. Now, my last piece of advice for content I want to give you guys before I move on to the next section here is the Edits app. Now, the Edits app ties directly in with Instagram. It integrates. So everything you're posting on Instagram, the data gets collected over to the Edits app when you log in. And on the Edits app in particular, there's something called a retention graph that you can see. So as you go to your clips, and I'll see if I can actually screen record it right here for you guys. Okay, so I'm screen recording it right here for you guys. And if you look at my clips, let's say this clip right here, right, something I posted, you can see the exact statistics that come back from this video in terms of how many people skipped it, how many people liked it, was it followers, was it not followers, and then you see this retention graph. So you can see exactly where people fell off. So this video wasn't the greatest hook because you see right off the bat that 33% of people fell off 5 seconds in. You can measure exactly what's doing well in your videos, what isn't, and improvise from there. So this video right here, boom, it's a testimonial video that did pretty good. You look at the reach, a lot of it was non-followers. Now, it hit the feed, it hit the Reels tab, and you see the retention graph again. It fell off because, not as much as the last one actually, but it did fall off a good bit because maybe my hook wasn't as strong enough. So now I know I need to work on better hooks. Maybe that's the reason my videos aren't doing better, because my hooks are falling off and a lot of people are dropping off earlier on in the videos. Use the Edits app to analyze what exactly you're doing. So as you go through the process, you can see how you can improve. So right off the bat, I'll click one more one right here. This one had performed a little better. It's normal to see drop off, but this had a lot better drop off. Average watch time was around 7-8 seconds. Skip rate was low. So as you go through, I can see now, okay, this was a decent video. Boom. Now I can analyze what was about this video that did so good it, and then I can replicate it in the future to make better videos. So that's my entire breakdown on content that you need to know. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move into lead acquisition. So how to bring people in. And just as an overview, so you guys can see everything, you can see exactly what performs the best here. Instagram and YouTube is S tier. Now you can use 4 main types of funnels, and each one has its own job. And I'm going to go through all of them right now. So the first one being outbound, and this is both cold outbound and warm outbound. I'll explain what each one is. The first thing is, some of you guys, if you're already in business or your page has anything to do with business, you probably get a bunch of DMs on a daily basis of people pitching you stuff. This is what we call cold outreach. Now, this is only good if you are a business that is just starting off. You have no clients, no testimonials, no leverage that you can build with your brand. It's good just to have the volume out there and the opportunity, and the very, very rare opportunity that you might convert someone and get a client from it. So what we call that is cold outreach. Now, how you want to do cold outreach is message ideal prospects, qualify them, and then get them to hop on a call with you. Now, if you want to find these people on Instagram, just look up your keyword that you're working with. Now, when you DM these guys, you don't want to be a copy paste message like everyone else, and you want to do quality and quantity mixed together. So you have to do volume, but you also want to have quality in your messages. So rather than sitting there and spamming 50 people and copy pasting, you're going to get your account banned, or you're not going to be able to send messages for a certain period of time. They're going to lock your account. What you want to do is this: find people that have exact problems that you could help with. You want to make a personalized message to them with this problem that you can solve, and your pitch to them on solving that problem, and you want to send it over. And I'm going to show you right now exactly how to do that on YouTube, but for Instagram, super simple. Just look up the person you're trying to work with and message them off of there. I'll do it live. So I'll go into YouTube right here. I look up e-commerce business course. Boom. Let's see what comes up. How to start one. Boom, right off the bat. Now I can look at this guy's page, and I can go over to his Instagram. I can look up his name, whatever it is. He'll probably have his Instagram on here. There you go. So now I can go to his Instagram and I can cold DM this guy and I can pitch him from there. And notice how he doesn't have a lot of the branding on his Instagram. Like, he has a little bit here. You can't see it on the main grid. He doesn't have the highlights. So now this is something I could pitch to this guy right off the bat, right? Because I saw his stuff on there, but I want to talk to him and say, I'm going to bring you more traffic through Instagram. Cool. So that's exactly how you do the cold outreach aspect. And I will dig into more depth on how to do outbound in just a moment. Now, the next type of funnel is having inbound. Now, inbound is exactly what it means. It's bringing in people through your content. So again, how I just showed you guys how to create leverage with your actual brand. You want to do that, create leverage with your profile, bring in the right people, and once you have enough authority and you're posting the right content, you're showing off that you know what you're talking about, people will inbound. And how you do that is through CTAs. Now, there's 2 types of CTAs you can do. You can do a normal CTA that's just, hey, work with me here, DM me whatever word. And the other one is, if you want to be a little bit sneakier, you don't want to show that you're going off with direct CTA and just pitching something directly. You want to be a little bit behind the scenes. You offer a free value resource. And how you do that is say, hey, just DM me the word PDF if you want access to my PDF that breaks down XYZ system. And when they DM you that word, you give them the resource 100%, but at the same time, you now know they're a lead that you could start a conversation with because they wanted a resource that you had, meaning they're probably interested in your product or service that you're selling. So you can use that as 2 types of CTAs to actually bring people in when you're inbounding people. Obviously, as you go throughout your content, I'll get more into detail on how to convert these guys with the conversation as well. Now, just some pros of this: you have no ad spend, everything's natural filtering, you have lifetime ROI by creating your brand. Cons are, it takes a good while to build a brand where people will actually come in and inbound DM you every single day off of it. Now, going on to the next funnel, that is a VSL funnel. So the goal of the VSL is to pre-sell the offer before the call. And how it works is you either use organic or you use paid traffic to a landing page. I'm sure you guys seen a bunch of watch my free training or how I went from X to Y, and you go click on it and they'll ask for your email and SMS, so on and so forth. So you want to create a landing page. You want to have a video that breaks down exactly what you do, give away credibility, pre-sell your offer, give away a lot of free value, give away a lot of credibility, show you know exactly what you're talking about, and talk about it in this video on that landing page. Supplement it with a bunch more actual testimonials on the landing page itself. I'll see if I can show you guys an example right after this as well. And then go over to book a call after that. So right off the bat, it's best for coaches with huge audiences that need filtering, because everyone will drive to the VSL and you'll be able to filter them right there and then, rather than having to deal with everyone in the DMs. That's the only case that it's really ideal for. Other than that, you want to do inbound through everything through the DMs, how I will explain here in just a minute. Now, the pros of this are it qualifies the leads before the call and funnels heavy traffic and reduces the time to sale, because you don't need setters at all. People coming through the VSL, you have the Typeform responses on the other end, which I'll show you guys how to set all this up, but you have the Typeform on the other end and people can just go right off of that, apply and book a call with you, and you can hop on knowing that they're qualified and ready to buy. Cons are it takes heavy filtering, and it's pretty inconsistent to where you can't measure the direct success. It just depends on how many people watch your training that day. Now, the last type of funnel is a webinar funnel. The goal for this is to sell high ticket offers through a live education class. So how it works is you have a bunch of organic and a bunch of paid traffic directing people over, letting them know that you're going to do this big webinar where you're going to be breaking down all these systems for free. I'm sure you see this all the time as well, where people are going to be breaking down a bunch of stuff on the internet for you live, and you sign up for their class and then go on it and watch watch, and they eventually lead to pitching their program. That's exactly what this is. So you're going to create a live class, a webinar that you can bring people to, and you're going to use the funnels to actually bring them in, whether it be organic or paid. And once everyone is live on that class, you're going to do the teaching. You're going to show off the testimonial, similar to the VSL. You're going to give a bunch of free value. You're going to show the actual direct proof, the direct implementation, how I'm showing you guys right now. But imagine if this was live. And then you're going to see a bunch of credibility, a bunch of testimonials. And from there, at the end, there'll be a CTA to book a call or take this to the next step and work personally one-on-one with that creator. Pros are you have really high conversion because people are literally watching you live and you have long-term leverage. Cons are it takes a good bit of setup, production, and at the same time, you cannot run it all the time. It's not evergreen. I can't run a webinar every single day. You need to have some sort of rarity to it so it actually scales and people actually show up to them. Okay, cool. I'm going to break down some examples of each one. So right here is Alex Eubanks, very big creator. This is a VSL funnel right here. So how he builds a 7-figure fitness personal brand in less than 3 years, how you can too. Right here, you can watch this video. They give you a lot of value, a lot of testimonials in it, so on and so forth. As I mentioned, exactly how you're supposed to do it. And then from here, there'll be an apply button. So apply is going to have their name and email where they'll have then a setter go ahead and contact them, which is the funnel, which I'll explain here in a second. So right here, FOMO as well. Here's exactly what I teach you. More testimonials inside in terms of results right there. Boom. So this is a perfect example of a VSL funnel and how you can create the same for yourself. And then over here, Vincent Fisher, we have an example of a webinar, and how the webinar works is strict link. He's driving all traffic to this to build a 6-figure coaching business. And this is what's inside the webinar. You register, it's completely free, completely live. They go on it, description on what they're going to learn. From there, you enter in, sign up, and it's going to redirect you to an email and SMS flow where they're going to tell you that the webinar is there. Basically, just make sure that you're going to show up the day of the webinar itself. So examples of both. And then obviously inbound and outbound, I'll give you examples on right now as well. Now, examples on outbound that I have specifically done right here. I sent this message. Hey, bro, I know you get a shit ton of these. I came across your page, liked your energy, wanted to reach out if you see you're running the company alone. I've created systems for the following clients. Let me know if that sounds interesting. I'll drop more info in a voice message. Now, he responded. Boom. I nurtured him through the conversation. I sold him exactly what he was missing on here. Sounds good. So is that what you do? Do you do this or a percent? And then we had the entire conversation, got him over to get a book call, sent him an invite, and then closed him off of that invite. That's an example of cold outreach. So when you're first starting off, you want to send a bunch of these DMs. I haven't done this now since August 25th. I just sent a bunch then. But ideally, once you create leverage, you don't want to do it. Again, this still got me 10K. This was a 10K client. So right off the bat, sending these cold outreaches can work. You just have to play your cards very, very smart, which we will talk about how to have the proper conversation in a little bit here. Now, this was completely cold, meaning this guy did not follow me. I did not follow him. No one knew who he was until I DM'd him. We have the conversation, and now he works with me. Now, I'll show you an example of a guy who was a warm outbound client. Okay, cool. Now, this is an example of warm outbound. So this guy dropped me a follow off of one of my reels or one of my ads, and I started the conversation with him. So very simple, very subtle. Boom, yo, where are you from? I'm from there. Cool. What do you do? Cool. Are you ever thought about coaching? Yeah, I've thought about coaching. Cool. This is what I do. They give him some free value right off the bat. Here you see the value drops, credibility, testimonials, so on and so forth. He sees what I does. I was like, yeah, cool. Let's talk more about it. Book a call. He booked a call with me. We hopped on call. He was like, okay, you know what? This works out. Close him on the sales call, which again, I'll show you my sales framework. And boom, you can actually see I sent the payment link here and we got him onboarded towards the end of the call. So that is an example of warm outbound. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys the breakdowns for each and how to go about every single funnel type. So the first one for the outbound breakdown. Outbound is the fastest way to create conversations, but most people treat it like spam rather than strategy, right? There's a very particular method of going about outbound. Real outbound isn't about sending 1,000 messages. It's about sending 10 quality messages, as I mentioned earlier. Now, there's two ways you can run. There's warm outbound and cold outbound. Each one has a different approach. So starting off with warm, it is to activate leads in your already followers, engagers, watchers, past inquiries. So people that have already been familiarized with your content, seen it, know what you're about, maybe liked a couple posts. Warm outbound will be reaching out to these guys. Now, where do you find them? You look at followers who watch stories and posts. You do story poll responders. If you put something up like ask me a question and they respond to that, those are the type of people. You do people that reply to your content before. If they swipe up on a story, boom, now that's someone you can have a conversation with. Now, how do you approach these guys? You want to approach it like a relationship and not a pitch. You want to keep it very simple, very casual when you're outreaching to these guys. So something as simple as, hey, where are you from? Could be a great intro, and then slowly transition it into your actual purpose of reaching out. And how you do that is first keep it very, very subtle, very short intro, then go into qualifying questions such as, oh, how's it going with XYZ business right now, right? If you're in a business offer, you're in fitness, how's it going in the gym right now? What are you struggling on? So on and so forth. And once you qualify, give some sort of value. Now, value could be a resource, like you send them a YouTube video, send them over over a reel that you made, or value could be you just dropping a voice message in terms of, oh, well, you should try XYZ and see if you get whatever outcome out of it. Boom. From there, go into sending the actual Typeform link or book a call link or wherever you want to transition them to in the next step of the funnel. Now, your goal for conversion when it comes to warm outbound should always be around that 30% mark. Realistically, you can convert 1 out of 3 people if they're familiar and trust your content, as long as your brand has the proper leverage. Now, cold outbound is on the other end of the scale. This is basically texting people that have no idea who you are but are in your ideal client profile, the people that you would ideally be working with, but they have no idea that you exist. How do you find them? I showed this earlier. You can go on Instagram, you can look up certain keywords, you can go on YouTube, you can look up certain keywords, find these guys, shoot them a personalized, qualified message in regards to how you can help them with what they need. Now, for this, you want to use a lot more credibility, you want to use a lot more value when you're starting off. You don't want it to just be, okay, hey, how you doing? They're not going to reply, especially if they're big creators. You want it to be, hey, you know, I can help you with XYZ because I saw you're lacking this and I've actually built this system out for this person. Something along those lines. And I'll break down examples here in a little bit as well. Now, since this heavily relies on credibility and leverage, you can make a loom, you can make some sort of testimonials that are there. You can have something posted so you can send it out. Again, I'll show you exactly how I do my DMs personalized in this exact board a little bit later. So just as an overview of my outbound strategy, you always want to have a personalized opener out of observation and curiosity. Something simple, hey, where are you from for warm? Something for cold could be, hey, I noticed that you have XYZ you're lacking. Now, qualification, you want to ask about their goals, their pain, the fulfillment setups, and find out where these roadblocks are. So you don't want to act like you just know it all, that you're just perfect and you can come in and fix whatever issue. You want to see that there's an issue that exists that you can help with and relay that over to them. So find out what their actual problems are, what they're struggling on, and what they need help on so you can find out what to pitch them. Now, transition, this could be either a free value resource, this could be that voice message you're providing some sort of sauce for them. Have something where you give them some sort of value so they trust you. Then transition over to a booked call. Booked call is simple. Obviously, set up a Calendly. Calendly is super simple. Go on Google, link your email, set up your dates, and you can send over that link, and they can book in for you. What I recommend is this. Whenever you're starting off with calendar bookings, you never want to send the link right away if you do not have meetings throughout the day. If you only have 1 meeting a day, 2 meetings a day, book them in manually because that's going to keep them more engaged. When you give them a Calendly link, it kind of puts the ball in their court. They can book whenever, they can book for whenever. You don't want them to get disengaged. So every time I'm in the conversation and I'm trying to book someone for the next day, and maybe I don't have a lot of meetings the next day, I'll always book it manually. I'll say, hey, well, how's tomorrow 5 p.m. EST for you? Boom. I don't even pitch the other times. I don't even show 3 years down the line. Nothing. I talk about strictly tomorrow. Now, if you're on the other end of the scale, you have a bunch of meetings already coming in, you're already a busy person, what you can do is do the other end, just send them over the Calendly link, let them pick it on their own because you have a lot more stuff you have to deal with already. After that, you go to the book call and run the closer framework, of course, to actually get the deal. Now, here's what your system should look like in terms of the back end. You want a tracking list. You can either make a Notion sheet, a Google sheet, you can have some sort of CRM, like go high level. Now, the setter's workflow should be 5 to 6 DMs an hour. You don't want to do more than that because it messes up on Instagram. It won't let you send a certain amount of messages after. It'll start popping up as red saying you can't message this user. You'd have to wait a big hour chunk and your account will start getting flagged. So only send 5 to 6 DMs an hour. Do not be repetitive. Don't send the same copy paste message as I mentioned earlier. You want to mix it up, personalize it for more impact. So find out specifically what they're lacking, pitch them on that, and then review, track, and optimize your actual DM. So obviously you're going to have people that don't respond to you, right? You want to do follow-ups. So simple follow-ups for cold and warm outreach. Let's say on day 1, you can hit them with something along the lines of, hey, just bumping this up in case Instagram buried it. Now, the 3rd day, you can say something like, hey, is this still a priority? And now the 5th day, you can say something like, have you given up on your goals? Again, you have to kind of change it up depending on whether it's cold or warm, how the conversation is going, what the context is. Obviously, a guy that never read your first cold outreach message has no idea who you are. You're not going to say, is this still a priority? Because they don't have any intention of working with you. They don't even know who you are at this point. Now, going into how to track these things, you want to track by the name, the source that they came from, whether it be Instagram ads, whether it be cold outreach, whether it be warm outbound, so on and so forth, the niche that they're in, whether they're your ICP. If your ICP is very strict and it's like, I only work with people that want to lose fat, then you don't have to worry about that. Their status in terms of where they're at. Are they almost to book call? Are they in qualification process? Are you diagnosing them? What their problems are? Are you introing right now? And then are they booked? Yes or no? That way the setter can track everything. You can see everything live, and you want to establish end of day reports, which is something I'll go over in a minute here. Now, outbound is a skill that keeps your business alive. No algorithm, no ad spend, and no excuses. So no matter what, whenever someone's following you, you always have the opportunity to reach out to someone new. You will always have that system in place to find people. Now, section 3, inbound lead flow. Now, inbound is when people come to you, but as we said, you need to have the proper leverage on your profiles for people to actually come to you. So you build inbound by showing value, building belief in your process, and creating clear entry points for people to take action. Clear entry points, simply known as CTAs, call to actions, right? Every piece of content, every story, every DM, it's all part of the inbound. Everything you're doing on every social platform will lead to people eventually DMing you, and you want to strategically design it in that exact manner. The job isn't to get views, it's to turn attention attention into conversations. Now, how to do inbound the right way. The first thing is you want to bring in the right people. You want to filter your audience. So the goal is to make sure only your ideal clients are entering your ecosystem. How you do that? You speak directly to their pain points. Don't speak to everyone. So something like if you're a coach doing 20 to 30K a month, this would be something that's in my ICP, something I could do a direct call out on. You want to share results that mirror your target client's current stage. So show results based on the fact that if your client is trying to get into six-pack, show results of someone getting into a six-pack. If your client is fat right now and you want to get him skinny, show results of him going from fat to skinny if that's the person you're trying to attract. Filter with clarity. Your content should attract or repel instantly. A lot of people have the misconception that they need to appeal to the masses. They need to be generalized. They have to avoid controversy. It's actually the exact opposite when you're trying to grow. If you want people to actually trust you and buy from you, they need to really, really like you and really, really align with your views. And the way you do that is you are actually super controversial. It's very black and white. People will either like you or they'll hate you. You don't want people in between where they're like, oh, okay, this guy's cool, because they never really have that full loyalty with you. Versus on the other end of the scale, if people hate you, the people that like you are going to support you. And that's what builds actual trust and loyalty for them to eventually come and buy from you. Now, good marketing doesn't get more people, it gets the right people. Step 2 is to build trust. Make people believe that they should DM you and they know what you're talking about. How to build it is you post consistently. Consistency is everything, as everyone knows. Proof posts, right? Show screenshots, show results, show actual mechanisms, show value, educational reels, break down part of your process and authority stories, show off your clients, show off behind the scenes, show your actual lifestyle, mirror yourself as the person you're trying to sell, because you are your unique selling point. You are different, which is why people will buy from you rather than buying from the next person. Now, the third step is having a clear CTA. So you want to have a place where you can navigate these guys, whether it's as simple as, hey, like my video, or comment a word, or say this for a free resource, or shoot me over a DM if you want help. You need some sort of action that they can go to, and you need to define that action so they actually go there. Now, how to run inbound consistently is think about it as a machine, right? You have to obviously do the top, middle, bottom of funnel content that we discussed. Post one piece of content every single day. Post proof stories. Use story polls. Use free value assets like I mentioned earlier, and use story posts. Something like, hey, let me give you some free value, and you post it and people ask you questions on it. That is the best part to get responses, because people will actually ask you questions of stuff they're actually actively struggling with. You get to answer it for them. They trust you right off the bat. You solve their problem, and now you know that there's someone you could help because they asked you a question, and you can start that conversation with them. And engage with all your new followers. Don't leave any people behind. Don't leave no money on the table, and make sure you're tracking. Tracking is the best way to make sure you stay on top of all of this. Now, common mistakes: trying to speak to everyone, as I just mentioned, having weak CTAs, not directing people anywhere else. No results. You need to have some sort of leverage. If you don't have results, if you don't have actual testimonials yet, what you want to do is supplement it with value. So if I have 0 case studies, if I was starting from scratch, what I would do, rather than saying, hey, look at my client, because I don't have any, I would give so much value that it wouldn't matter about testimonials, because people will be like, holy shit, this guy really knows what he's talking about. And that's how you supplement it. And then make sure you're not delayed. Stay on top of speed. When people DM you is when they're first engaged, when you first get in a conversation. That's the highest point of conversion. You want to make sure you can get them onboarded as soon as possible rather than delaying. Don't take days to reply. Now, inbound is how you go from chasing clients to actually choosing them. When your content builds belief and your CTAs create clarity, your calendar fills itself. You don't need more views, you need trust. Section 4 is having paid traffic to the profile. Most people think paid ads are for funnels, landing pages, whatever, drop shipping, whatever it is. Right now, the most profitable strategy for coaches and creators is very, very simple. It's running ads straight to your profile, not a funnel. You don't need a landing page, you don't need a fancy website, you don't need a fancy video. All you need to run ads to the profile itself, especially when you create leverage on the brand. Why? Because your content is the funnel itself. Profile paid traffic means using ads to send your ideal audience directly to your Instagram profile, where they can binge your account, watch proof, DM you, and convert naturally. Now, step 1 is to run the right ads. Attract clients in your ecosystem. Don't attract random followers. Now, ad types that work best. You can have short-term value clips, literally just giving out free sauce. You can have proof-based clips showing off a testimonial, and you can have educational hooks attracting your ideal audience. Now, I'm going to do a full ad breakdown on how to set it up right after this, again, later on in this section, so stay tuned for that as well. But in terms of your ad setup, you want to set it up for profile visits, engagement, reach. Your target is to have specific target audiences, so people that you're targeting, whether they be in fitness, whether they be in business, whether they're just trying to make money, entrepreneurship, marketing, whatever the circumstances is, you can target these guys. Again, I'll show you how to do that. How you want to budget it is $15 to $50 a day, depending on how you're starting. 15 bare minimum just to start. Measure metrics, and depending on metrics, which we'll go over as well, you want to scale or cut them. Now, going on to nurturing these guys. After they come in from the profile, you want to use the same exact system we just talked about. Keep posting the value, keep posting the credibility, and eventually nurture these guys to trust you. So they found you. It's basically for awareness. They found you through the ads. They're aware that you exist. Now, why should they buy from you? Help them build trust, show off your value, show what you do, start these conversations, you'll be able to nurture them. And converting is obviously bottom of funnel. So this is strictly in terms of posting a CTA. Now that they found you from the ads, maybe they've been watching your content for some time, maybe they trust you now, post a CTA and let them inbound to you. Have them DM you a word, provide some sort of free value asset, so on and so forth. Now, common mistakes in this: sending cold traffic straight to a sales call funnel. It's too raw. They don't trust you. If you're sending people straight to, hey, book a call, you want watch my ad, they're not going to trust you enough to actually buy. And if they do ever end up hopping on the call, there's no way they buy from you. Conversion rate is going to be slim to none because they don't know who you are. They're not familiarized yet. Whether as they go to the page first and they get nurtured, they hop on the call knowing exactly what you do and knowing they can trust you. Now, targeting everyone instead of one niche. Again, focus on one specific group of people and you want to hard sell to them rather than trying to target everyone. There's a quote, the master of everything is a master at none. You cannot be the best at everything. Pick one thing and get the absolute best at that and target those group of people, and don't ignore any DMs. Do not leave any money on the table whatsoever. Profile paid traffic is the fastest way if you have the capital to scale inbound because it multiplies what you're working on organically. You don't need more content. You just need more eyes on your current content, and that's exactly what paid traffic gets you. Now, section 5, a VSL funnel. So if you built a big audience but struggle to actually convert, you don't need more content, you need a VSL. Only in the circumstance that you have a shit ton of people already on your page, you have a good bit of traffic, and you have no one actually converting or buying from you. A VSL is a 10-20 minute video that does the heavy lifting for you. It educates, build beliefs, handle objections, and sells your offer while you sleep. So this is not something you need to be actively engaged in. The VSL will do everything for you in terms of selling. This is one of the best funnels for B2C people who have a massive following and don't want to spend all day in DMs because their following is so massive. They have to do a good bit of filtering, right? As I mentioned earlier. Some examples of VSL funnels right here. Unlock the free training, how I turned my passion of fitness into a 7-figure business. Again, free video on all of these. They collect email, SMS, nurture, and then a setter reaches out from there. Now the script of the VSL, how you want to script it. The hook, you want to call out the pain and the ideal person and show off the ideal outcome all within the first 30 seconds. So within the first 30 seconds of any VSL, you want to say, hey, if you're trying to get to XYZ end goal, if you're struggling with this right now, what this video is for you. Now the shift is you have to explain why the old way doesn't work, why you stand out, show off your client results, and you want to show your own story in terms of results. So it's immediately establish credibility. You called them out. If you want to live this life, here's my credibility. I'm showing you that I did it for myself and other people. Then you want to go into framework, so provide some sort of value. Again, this is more of that trust building. So show off how exactly they can start, how exactly they can do it. What are some steps they can take today? Then go into more proof, layer it on. So basically whatever value you shared, you want to layer it up with more credibility. Hey, look, I know what I'm talking about. And then you want to have the CTA, again, redirecting them to an actual place or direct action that they can take. Now, building the landing page for the VSL, you want to have some sort of title at the top, just like these examples over here, how I went from X to Y, unlock my free training behind X and Y. Have some sort of title that overviews the whole thing. Then have the line under that says what this video is about. So watch this 10-minute video on how you can start today. Watch this 15-minute free training on how exactly you can go from 0 to your first 10K month, so on and so forth. And then third thing is you want to drive traffic. So drive traffic from obviously organic, from your Instagram, from your YouTube. You can even run paid ads to this VSL itself. Common mistakes on a VSL are making it too long and unfocused. A lot of people like to ramble on them. Very concise, very to the point, very engaging. So have it strictly to where people watch, boom, now they want to buy from you. So show the transformation of you and your clients rather than just showing off the exact value. The value needs to be layered and supplemented with the credibility from you and your clients. Now, if your content already gets attention, the VSL turns that attention into revenue. It's your sales system on autopilot. So education first, conversion second. You don't need more DMs. You need one video that explains it better than you ever could on a call. Now, the last funnel is a webinar funnel. It's exactly how you break that down. When you already built attention on Instagram or YouTube, the next step is not to have more posts. You need more depth. You need more layering to it. Nothing builds depth and trust faster than a webinar. A webinar lets you teach for 30 to 60 minutes live, show your full framework, handle objections, position your offer all in one big piece of content, all through one day, 1 hour, obviously with the build up beforehand. It's basically a masterclass that sells, but in a way that feels natural, organic, and helpful. Now, option 1 is to have a live webinar. It's to build urgency and connection. The setup is to announce the date and time on Instagram stories, posts, a lot of selling, a lot of pitching. You want to get people to sign up for this. So collect them via Typeform, via Google Form, via Zoom too. If you want to set one up on Zoom, they can literally register on Zoom. You want to get these people to actually apply and make sure they're going to be there. Run reminders, run email, SMS reminders. Make sure, hey, my webinar is coming up. Make sure you attend. I'm going to be breaking down whatever. Show off that they will get value that will change their life from this. Once you're inside, you want to go on Zoom. You want to present it over an hour. You want to have some sort of breakdown, whether it's a model board, a Google slide, whatever it is, something for them to see and learn from and have a clear CTA at the end. The option 2 is an evergreen webinar. This is what we talked about. This is that same centralized YouTube asset, like how this video is for me. That's exactly what you want to do for them. It's almost a webinar right now, except this one isn't live, right? You guys are learning everything, but it's not live. It's just me giving you the sauce on here, and I'm going to throw it on a YouTube video forever, and it's evergreen because it'll stay there forever. Now, live will convert always better, but evergreen is good to have because it'll have long-term ROI, meaning even a year from now, someone could watch this video and learn something from it, which is exactly why it stays forever versus I would have to run a webinar live multiple times to get the same result. Now, webinars are the best way to show depth and not hype. You don't need more leads, more belief, and a well-structured webinar creates belief at scale. So if your Instagram and YouTube already have attention, a webinar turns that attention into clients every every single week. Okay, now we're going to go over something very important that every online coach uses, and that is a Typeform. So a Typeform is simple, but needs to be executed with the proper logic. What is the point of a Typeform in the first place? It is to collect data all through lead sources onto one Google Sheet where you can see everything, see the metrics, and qualify people beforehand them hopping on a call, so you don't waste your time. Now, Typeform is simple, but you need to have a good setup. Now, the best setup is to collect the important information, don't ask too many questions, and optimize for completion. Make sure they don't get disengaged. Now, how do you want to do this? I'll give you exactly my Typeform setup, and then other Typeforms you can create for fulfillment in your business down the line. So my setup in terms of correcting leads specifically, you want to have contact information, so name, number, email, Instagram handle, the location, where are they based, how old are they, their niche, what are their current experiences, what are their current struggles, budget. You want to qualify making sure they have the money and the investment to actually work with you. So how much are they making? How much do they want to be making? How much are they willing to invest? And then you want to pre-qualify with the results of that. And the next steps from there are you're going to reach out to the lead, build report and trust, provide a free value asset, confirm, and book a time. I'm going to run you through my exact Typeforms that I use in my business for not only leads, but also fulfillment. And I'll actually show you some from my client's perspective as well. Now, this is a fitness coaching application for a client I have, Hadi Abdel. If you guys know who he is, I'm going to show you exactly how we run it to collect the lead. So right off the bat, you have the intro slide. Again, contact information, right? So what is their name, email, phone number, and then it goes into Instagram handle right here. Next is you want to qualify these guys. What are their fitness goals for the next month? What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? Then it's what is their biggest challenge right now, so we know what they're struggling with. Why do you think they'd be a good fit? If you see right here, we have FOMO, 30 available spots. It's a limited program. Fear of missing out. Boom, you kind of build that urgency inside the Typeform. Why do you think they'd be a great client? Moving on to, we will custom adjust your program to your lifestyle. What's your current profession? Now, this is kind of a sneaky way to find out what they do in terms of the work. If they say, oh yeah, I'm unemployed, you know they probably don't have the funds to work with you, even though we'll hard qualify them after. We also just want to know what their lifestyle is outside of that, so we know kind of the type of person we're dealing with. Now, going right into budget qualification, how much do you have set aside to invest into yourself? If you're not ready to invest, don't apply. This shows the budget in terms of what they're willing to invest. If you go past this part and they select, I actually built a flow. So if they go past this part and they select 0 to 250 or 150 to 300, it'll take them over to this next line. It says we work with companies to split up payments. Which their best credit? So the credit, obviously, you can use with buy now, pay laters like Klarna, Afterpay, Zip, so on and so forth, which I'll show you guys as well. So they have to select that. Otherwise, it'll go straight to the end screen. So boom, application received, DM Hadi the word done, and confirm the spot. And if you click this, it'll take them over to his Instagram handle. That is how I use exact lead scraping and lead qualifying Typeforms. Now I'm going to show you some other ones I use. Now, other ones I use on the back end in terms of my team and all my clients' teams is end of day reports. It's super important to analyze your metrics in terms of where the business is lacking and where it can improve. Now, this is for DM setters in particular. So very simple. What is the date? What is the name? The number of conversations the setters had, the number of booking links they sent, the number of call books, and any additional info as in, oh, leads were slow today, leads were super fast, I was busy today, I didn't get to send a lot. Whatever extra information that I should know, they put in here. Now, other ones I have are phone settings. So phone setting, very similar. It's as if you're calling off the Typeform. So with phone setting, again, date, the name, number of conversations, number of meetings that are pitched, and number of meetings booked, and then additional info. And then closer end of day report. So closer end of day is what is the closer's name, the date, the number of meetings they took, number of meetings were closed, number that no show, number that canceled, and then any additional info. So we can track every metric, and I'll show you exactly how this populates here in a second as well. So really quickly for you guys, I'm going to show you how to link it. Very, very simple. You go over to connect. You go over to right here, Google Sheets, turn this on, log in with your Google account. It's going to tell you to create a new sheet, make the new sheet name, and all your responses will sync over to the Google Sheet. If you want to add a workflow in where, let's say, if they say their budget is under 150, you want to take them to a low ticket offer, you want to take them to say application denied, you don't have enough funds to work with me, you can do that all in workflow. It's basically just this pipeline. You can create it right from here. So put in a rule. So if they say if they say the number of meetings closed is less than 10, you can add a rule for them to redirect to some other page. I'm going to show you exactly how this populates now. So we're going to fill out this closer one. So the date currently is November 24th, 2025. We're going to go in with the name, whatever. Number of meetings taken. I took 5 meetings today, and the number of meetings I closed was 3, 1 no-showed, and we'll say 1 canceled. Boom. Now, additional info. Leads were slow today. Boom. Right? And I go ahead and submit this. Now it's all going to populate into my actual Google Sheets. So I'm going to head over to my Google Sheets right now. I'll show you exactly where it populates right here. So you can see exactly how it populated. We have the date, the name, the number of meetings that I actually closed, the number no show, number canceled, and it shows leads were slow, and it shows the date and the actual token of the actual Typeform response. So now you can measure metrics on a large enough scale to where we can see, okay, on this date in particular, all these leads fell off. Why? Or on this date, we had a lot of no-shows. Why? Because maybe the CTA was 5 days ago and they got disengaged. This helps you track important metrics inside so you can actually measure the data on the back end of the business. So that's exactly how you want to run your Typeform. Now, next steps after they actually fill out the Typeform, you want to call and reach out to the lead, whether it's text, call, whatever it is. You want to build some sort of trust before the call. So If you have a phone center, get them to give them a call, chat it up a little bit, kind of run through the form with them, see what they're struggling on, build some conversation. The whole point is to build trust so they actually show up to the call and they come pre-sold to the call. You want to provide some sort of free value if you have. If you have a doc you want them to go through, if you want them to watch a quick 2-minute video before they hop on call, go ahead and do that. And then you want to confirm and book a call time with them to actually close them. Now moving on to paid traffic, we talked about how paid traffic can accelerate your entire lead flow. I'm going to show you exactly how to set it up. So the first thing is how to create a winning creative. A creative is basically an ad. So how to create a winning ad. Most people think that winning ads come from fancy editing, cool effects. Is actually wrong. My best ads have been the simplest ones where I'm just holding my phone talking. Now, the best creatives are simple, fast, and clear. They grab attention in 2 seconds, make the pain relatable, and give a reason to act. A winning creative doesn't just get views, it gets qualified clicks. This is how you create the ad. So the hook, within the first 3 seconds, the goal is to stop the scroll. The first line decides whether they're going to watch the whole thing or they're going to skip right past it. A pain hook. So rather than saying, oh, if you're a guy that's struggling with getting a 6-pack, you can do a pain hook, which is like, hey, you wake up, you look in the mirror, and you still don't have the body you want. This touches directly on the pain rather than calling people out. There's so many ads out there that are like, oh, if you're whatever, if you're certain, this person struggling with certain type of thing, they're saturated at this point. You don't want to do that. Instead, you want to call out the direct pain. So rather than saying, hey, if you're a guy who wants to start a business, if you look at your bank account every day and are not happy with the numbers, this video is for you. Boom. That's calling out the direct pain rather than actually saying, oh, if you're this YZ person. Now, pattern interrupt. Most consultants think they need more leads. That's wrong. This basically interrupts the pattern in their head when they're scrolling and they're like, oh shit, well, what do I need? It kind of spikes curiosity. Results hook is how I helped XYZ client go from 30 to 100K a month. If someone else is stuck at 30, they're trying to go 100K a month, they're going to get captured and they're going to watch this video. And a question hook is, are you stuck working 12 hours a day and still seeing no results? Now, this is something that is targeting, again, pain, but you do it in the form of a question. Now, you want to use captions, on-screen tests. Your hook is to target the ideal client's current pain and not your offer yet. Now, the next part is you go into your offer. Now, the next part of the ad is you want to go into the actual offer. So the goal is to teach, reframe, or prove something valuable fast. Once you have their attention, give them a reason to stay. So some examples are, I fixed this backend with 3 systems for this client. You don't need more leads. You need systems that can handle the leads you already have. This is reframing their beliefs. So if they think that they need a huge platform, you don't need thousands of followers to make money. You need 10 customers a month. Flash proof is show testimonials right off the bat. So this person went from X to Y. Keep it visual, have the cuts in place. Make sure you have proof and captions as well. Then next you want to go into more testimonials. So basically, again, supplement the actual value. Layer it on top with credibility. Show off exact case studies. Show off exact examples. If you do not have any, use your own personal transformation as your example itself. And then have a CTA at the end, whether it be DM you, visit my profile, drop me a follow, like this video, DM me a word, whatever it is. Now, formats that work best, you could do a talking head. This is just super raw, authentic. Pick up the phone just like this, talk to the camera in a good backdrop and post that as an ad. You want to do a proof collage to show off actual testimonials, results. You can have even a green screen on the back of you showing results and you're pointing to it. You can have value drops. So this is just exact value on how they can start doing something, give off free softs. And you can do story ads. So story ads are something you want to do more of the line, obviously, once you start running these ads originally. But story ads do really well when you have a current audience that already believes in your offer. Now, common mistakes, you don't want to keep your intro long. You want to get straight to the point. You don't want to talk about your program instead of their pain. You want to talk about the pain and the struggles that they're struggling with. You want to use simple visuals, not complex, that distract them from the message. And do not forget a call to action. Redirect them somewhere. Now, winning creative is about production. It's about precision. 1 sentence, 1 pain point, and 1 call to action. That's how you build ads that print calls, not views. How to know when to scale and kill ads. Now, most people don't scale their ads. They gamble them, right? And what I mean by that is they look at the likes, comments, vibes, and they don't care about how the actual ads are performing on the back end. They're just looking to be like, oh, this one isn't doing the greatest. You don't want to get emotional about this. You want to look at exactly what the data is. Now, there's 3 stages to every ad. The first stage is the launch. So you're gathering data. You don't judge any results. So let Meta, TikTok ads, whatever you're running, I recommend Meta, but let whatever ad you're running actually get to the point where it starts finding the right people. It's not going to find the right people right off the bat, right? It's not like Reels when you post a video and it goes viral the next day. You want to collect the proper data points and you want to give it time to do that. So the first 3 to 5 days, you don't even want to touch anything. Just let it collect the data. Even if it's spending money, you're not getting results because ads take time to actually target. Metrics to look through are your click-through rate, your 3-second hold rate, and your cost per 1,000 impressions. Now, the next stage is the learning stage. Learning stage is when you'll start to see people get targeted. This is when the ad starts learning. By day 5, your ad should start learning properly and start targeting, and you will know whether it's a good or bad ad. Now, ads with strong early engagement start to normalize, focus shifts to cost per lead, and quality of conversation. So metrics you want to look at is the cost per lead. So depending on the amount of people, let's say I spent $10 for every good follower that came in that I was able to start a DM with. I would have a $10 cost per lead. I'll show you how to calculate this in my ads manager in a second. And then you want to make sure the CTR is good. Click-through rate is basically making sure that you have a good video. So if you have a high CTR, people are watching the video and it's a good video. And then scaling stage is after you find find a winning creative. This is after you close someone off of an ad. You want to actually scale it. Now, how to scale it? You increase budget every 2 to 3 days. You don't want to increase budget too much. Very subtle increases, because if I go from $10 a day budget to $100 a day, I have $90 more of targeting per day. It's going to scale too quick. It's not going to find your target audience, and you're actually going to kill the creative by just doing it that way. You're going to have to lower it eventually anyway. Now, duplicate the winning ad into a new ad set to double budget to test its stability, and so you can stack retargeting campaigns for profile visits. So if people were watching your ad, maybe they didn't convert, you can put these people in a retargeting group, and you can target these exact guys over and over again. If you've noticed, you ever clicked on a link off an ad, didn't buy anything, you probably see 100 more of those ads to this day, and that's because they're running retargeting to you, because you're already nurtured, you already clicked on it, it shows interest, and they're going to target you until you eventually go and buy from it. Now, if it's profitable or hitting your cost per lead, move to scaling tests. If not, kill and replace with the new creative. How to know when to kill an ad. Kill if your click-through rate is less than 1% after 3 days. It basically means your ad hook or your ad creative is trash. Your cost per impressions means you have bad targeting or creative. Your cost per lead should not be too high. If it's too high, that means you're spending too much money to get a lead in. You're not going to convert, and you're going to be overall negative. Engagement is fake if you're getting spam comments and no real traffic. And make sure you have some sort of qualified DMs or applications coming in. If not, kill the ad. If it's not bringing in the right people, it's not working, don't be emotional. Just kill, retest new ads, and repost it and see what the results are on the next time. Now, how to know when to scale? Scale after that 5-day mark. Again, you want to make sure you look 5 days. After those 5 days, if your click-through rate is above 1.5, your cost per million impressions, or the cost per mil, cost per 1,000 impressions is under $25. Your cost per lead is stable or lowering the more you spend. Your leads are actually converting. You're having good conversations, and you match your ideal audience with this ad. Now, scaling ads isn't about luck. It's about discipline. The numbers tell you everything. When you follow data instead of emotion, you'll never waste another dollar. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to use something called FOMO, fear of missing out, scarcity and urgency in your ad/content. So most coaches lose sales not because people don't want it, because people don't act on it. And the reason they don't act is there's no urgency. You're not forcing people to buy it, forcing emotionally, not forcing literally. You help them make a decision now instead of never. So you use something called FOMO, fear of missing out. Like I just showed you in that Typeform, how there's only 30 spots. That's an example of FOMO. The goal is to make people being afraid of being left behind. It's social proof showing that others are winning and they're going to miss out on this opportunity. So show wins, show screenshots, show some sort of thing that's limited edition, limited time, limited slots, so on and so forth. Basically make people think that it's a very limited program and they're going to miss out by not acting on it quick. Now, the next thing is scarcity. This is limited spots, right? Again, same thing. Communicate that not everyone can get in. It has limited capacity. It's going to make people think, okay, well, if everyone's getting results and I don't have a lot of space, I need to go and I need to hop in immediately. The next thing is urgency. Is give people a reason to act now. So don't have them wait. Give people a reason to act right away. So add countdown timers. If you see how stores have like drops, it's basically the same thing. Create urgency. Everything's going to drop. Everything's going to sell out quick. Make sure you get it while you can. Same thing with you. So urgency before the market goes and before AI comes out, before everything gets fucked up, capitalize this and make money off of it. Now, how to layer this into your ads? You can add urgency in the captions, use FOMO visuals, use scarcity and copy. In stories, you can have proof photos, you can have countdown stickers, you can have last day only taking 3 more spots, so on and so forth. Now, FOMO, scarcity, urgency don't make your offer better. They make your audience decide faster, and speed is everything, because people who hesitate will forget and they will not buy from you. Okay, now we're going to go into appointment setting. So appointment setting, full breakdown. Everyone complicates appointment setting. It's not about sending 200 messages. It's about having 10 quality conversations that actually convert. The goal is not to pitch, it's to create curiosity and qualify. Now, if you can do that in the DMs, you'll never run out of book calls. So section 1 is how to introduce the conversation. Your first message will decide everything. If it feels salesy, you'll get ignored. If it feels human, they'll open up. The goal isn't to pitch. The goal is to connect and collect context. Now, understand the psychology behind it. When someone sees your message, they're asking themselves, do I know you? Do you actually get what I'm dealing with? Are you trying to sell me something? So your job with the first line is to answer all 3 with warmth, relevance, and curiosity. Now, how you do that is this. The goal is to turn attention into conversations. So super simple. Hey, bro, where are you from? You can even just say, yo, yo. Sometimes I do that. Niche is, are you working on your own offer? How's it been going? If they react to a certain story or they swipe up on something, let's say you make a video on breaking down exactly how to appointment set and they respond to it. Have you been dealing with the same issue? Or are you struggling on the front end or back end? Now, the example on my end is very, very simple. As I just mentioned, I just go super simple. Yo, 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 what's up? No complaints. You have a trading offer? Yes, sir, me and my partners. Boom. So I slowly, subtly transition into that actual part. Now, next thing is how to do a cold opener. So the goal for this is to build context and build credibility really fast so they don't get disengaged. Hey, saw your post about whatever. Are you struggling with XYZ? Are you doing this yourself? So on and so forth. I'll show you an example of a cold DM that I send. Hey, I know you get a shit ton of these. I came across your page. I've created things for boom, boom credibility. Let me know if that sounds interesting. Hey, thanks for reaching out. Shoving through a bunch of messages. Yes, I am running things alone, but I'm definitely trying to figure out what my next few moves are. Let's chat more. Boom, right off the bat, based on my credibility, he wanted to have more of a conversation. So the good introing the conversation isn't about tricking people. It's about starting real chill ones. If your opener feels natural, they'll respond. If it feels forced, they're going to scroll, they're going to ignore you. They get 1,000 of these a day, especially when it comes to cold DMs. Now, the next thing you want to do is uncover their struggles and pain. Once the convo starts, your goal isn't to pitch, it is to understand, because if you don't know their real pain, you end up solving the wrong problem, and the more clearly they describe their struggle, the easier it is for you to show the solution. Now, the 3 rules of uncovering pain. The first one is listen before leading. Don't rush to fix it, let them talk. The second thing is to ask open-ended questions. You're pulling context, not checking boxes. And the third thing is to clarify and confirm. Repeat the points back to make sure you're clear on what they're struggling with. It shows that you're paying attention and not just trying to pitch them something. Now, a couple of type of questions you can ask. The first one being service level. What does your business look like? How much are you making right now? What are you doing to get clients right now? What is your offer? How do you deliver? Problem questions are, what's the hardest part? What's your biggest bottleneck? If you can remove one thing, what's eating up most of your time? What's stopping you from scaling? These are all things to uncover a layer behind and see what they're actually struggling with. And then consequence questions. Damn, how has that been affecting you? Have you been dealing with that? Use these selectively. You don't want to use this if you're in a B2B market, because it's going to seem super salesy. Just if it's been someone that's like, you know what, I really just want to make a few thousand online. Oh, yeah, like why? Like, why is it messing up your life? What happens if nothing changes? These are more like very, very deep emotional questions that you want to use very selectively. Now, common mistakes. Don't ask too many questions fast. You want to kind of keep it very subtle, make it very conversational throughout the whole process. Don't jump into your pitch on like, oh yeah, I can do that. Don't make it sound like a survey, and don't skip the emotional depth part, and especially if it applies in their case. So uncovering pain isn't manipulation, it's leadership. You can't fix what you don't understand. And the better you understand, the faster they'll get you to trust and solve it. Now, how to build trust. Once someone opens up about their problems, the next step isn't to pitch, it's to prove. So show that you know what you're talking about. People don't buy solutions they don't trust. They have to believe you get it and you can fix it. Now, layers of trust. You want proof, give evidence. So drop in quick proof screenshots during the convo. We fixed the same issue. Mention case studies. Oh yeah, I actually had a client that was like yours and we did XYZ for him. Send a Loomer voice note. Again, more proof. Calm authority. Have the convo with composure. Don't sound rushed. Sound calm. Sound decisive. Sound that you speak with some conviction. So when people are having a conversation with you, they're like, okay, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. When people get on sales calls with me, the most common thing I hear is, man, I love your confidence, because I'm like, you know what, I've been doing this for so long, I'm confident when I speak. They know I know what I'm talking about, even if I was completely bullshitting. Some examples right here are screenshots. So I'll send reels of value that I provide, and I say, watch these and make sure you have a good fulfillment system. Over here, right? What do they want to do? Oh, this guy wanted to get into fitness. So I said, start off by establishing a brand. Watch this. Then go into lead acquisition to bring people to your brand. Boom. So this is, again, exact example that they can take value from right off the bat after he told me the problem. This guy inbounded. Hey, where are you from? Again, super simple. Nice. What made you want to DM the word? What are you trying to do? I'm looking to start this. Cool. Right off the bat. Boom. And then I'd give him some sort of free value here after that, so you can benefit from it and be like, okay, you know what? This guy knows what he's talking about. Now, you want to make your conversations relevant. So connect their pain to your systems and not your story. How you do that is to use their words back strategically. You said you're burning hours on clients. This is exactly what you need, and then show them the value. Show that your framework was built for their problems and you have the exact solution. Now, make sure you don't overshare. Don't try to sell yourself like, oh yeah, I've actually helped like 100 clients with this. Don't talk too much about yourself, and don't be transactional. Have some sort of empathy, relate to their situation, because at the end of the day, that's what you're there for, to help them. So trust is built when people feel seen, understood, and safe. Show proof, stay calm, and make it about them and not you. Once they trust you, the call is just a formality. Now, how to transition into actually booking them on a call. Once someone's opened up and you built the trust, the next step is to lead into the call. The call should feel obvious next step, not a pitch. You're not asking for permission, you're offering more clarity for them. So acknowledge what they're saying. Hey, it seems like you're stuck with whatever. Connect with them. That's literally what I do for my clients, to be honest. That's exactly where I do XYZ mechanism, and then go into the call. So if you want, I can show you exactly what that looks like over a 15-minute breakdown. I'll send you guys this entire Miro board, so if you want to look at my examples or anything I do specifically, you can always go back and go look at these. I'm just overviewing them really quickly. And then go into confirmation, drop in the booking link, book it in for him, pick a time. Do it normally. If you don't have a lot of calls, book it manually. If they do have a lot of calls, your calendar's already stacked, then just throw them over the Calendly link. Make sure you don't say it too early. Make sure you send the link with context. Don't send it without any context. And make sure you don't oversell the call, sound needy. Oh yeah, I can definitely show you down and we can even maybe work together. Don't send too many messages. Super simple. All right, cool. I can break this down for you on call. What time is good for you tomorrow? Booking the call isn't about convincing. It's about clarity. It basically is a solution to their problem. So pitch it in that same frame where it's like, okay, you know what? You hop on the call with me. I'll give you the solution to your problems. You've diagnosed, so you earn trust. Now you just have to lead them over to the actual sales call. Now, the next step is talking about how to close these guys once they're actually on the call. Now, closing isn't about pushing someone to buy. It's about helping them make the right decision faster. If you've done everything right, the pain is clear, trust is built, and the offer is proven, the close should feel natural and not forced. So the first framework, that I personally use, is starting off with the intro. You want to establish authority and comfort fast. People decide in the first 2 minutes if they trust you. So your intro isn't small talk. It's setting the frame of the call. Hey, are you based in whatever? Do you like it? Give some sort of small talk. Relate on a personal level before you get into business. So I always like to talk a little bit with my clients, not even in a salesy way, but just to see where they're from, what they're like, what their interests are, and if we have anything that aligns, right? And then you want to set the frame. So set the frame is, so you want to show them that this is the exact thing we're going to do on this call, and if it works out in the end, they'll end up buying. So how I do that is something like this. Cool, bro. So I'll just start off by asking you a couple questions. After that, I'll tell you everything I have to offer in my program. If it sounds good to you and it sounds good to me and it sounds like I can help you, we could talk about what it looks like to work together right off the bat. So they set the frame. They know I'm going to ask them questions. They know I'm going to explain my program after, and they know if all sounds good, they're going to end up buying at the end. So getting right into it now, you want to undercover their pain. So ask what made them hop on the call in the first place. That's how I like to start. Yeah, well, what made you want to jump on the call? Then ask qualifying questions. Yeah, what's your business kind of stuck at right now? What are you doing a month? How are you getting clients? What's your biggest bottleneck? Do you have any team members? What would you say your struggle is? What is your goal 6 months from now? Ask all these questions to see why they hopped on the call and what they need help with in the first place, and then find the emotional consequence of it. So if they're spending 15 hours a day, damn, bro, like that must be exhausting. Like, how are you finding times for other things right now, working 15 hours a day on your offer? And they're going to be like, yeah, bro, it sucks. And then you find an emotional connection, like, okay, they're really struggling with time. This is something I could actually leverage to get them to buy from me. So now you want to undercover the reasoning on why they haven't done this. Well, if you're struggling with lead flow, like, what have you done in place to kind of implement this yet? Have you bought someone's program before? Have you ever hired a team member? Why do you think this didn't work for you in particular? Why do you think you're still stuck at this point? Find out the reason. That tells you what's blocking their action. Is it the mindset? Is it the money? Is it the lack of clarity they have? What are they truly struggling with? If you don't understand their reasoning, you can't really reframe it to get them to buy from you in the first place. Then you want to pre-handle objections is, yeah, well, if the solution made sense, is there anything that would hold you back from maybe starting with someone that can help you out with this? Handle it right there. Is there anything else that might interfere? Maybe it be time, maybe it be your wife bothering you, maybe it be their financial issues, something else is going on that might block you from this. Say this earlier on the call before you pitch price. You could pre-handle this, meaning when it comes to that point, if they're like, yeah, my wife will support this, they can't hit you with that, I have to talk to my wife objection, because they already said that it wouldn't matter. Now, if it's timing, I have the examples. If it's trust, I have the examples. So make sure you read through this as well. Same format works for your partners. Think about it. And then any other objections, you follow the same exact structure. Now, deliver the right service presentation. You want to show that you know exactly what you're talking about. The goal is to present the solution that matches their specific problem. So based on everything you said, this is what the ideal strategy would be. You would build X, Y, Z. So go into your actual framework. What is your fulfillment? If it's fitness coaching, show that you'll give them custom training plans, diet plans, whatever. If it's a business offer, show that you'll give them the one-on-one calls, the group calls, the actual implementation, the resources, whatever it is. Break down your fulfillment system into steps and give them a clear roadmap. So month 1, we'd be focusing on this. Month 2, we'd be doing this. Month 3, we'd be doing that. And eventually by X amount of time, you've had Y results. So show them what the before and after is as well. Then you want to go into the actual close. So how's that all sound to you? Any questions? Make sure they're very, very clear on the actual offer you just presented and everything you talked about, so they don't have any questions on that regard, because that's going to be a roadblock between you and actually closing the deal. If they have any questions, please answer them. Then you go into what it looks like to actually work together. So cool, I charge a $10K up front for 3 months, and over those 3 months, we'll go over everything I just said before, and you'll be leaving with a Y result. And then just stay quiet. You never want to talk towards the end of the sale call. You don't want to oversell. So once you pitch price, hey, listen, man, the program price is going to be $5K for the next 3 months. We're going to work on exactly getting you down those 60 pounds of shape. We're going to work on exactly how to get you that 10K month within the first 3 months of drop shipping. How does that sound to you? Boom. Stay quiet. Let them respond. Now, whether it be an objection or whether it be let's do it, stay quiet. Do not oversell yourself. Do not drop the price. Just see what they have to say first. Now, sales isn't about convincing. It's about diagnosing. When you understand and reframe and lead with clarity, the close becomes effortless. That's why we don't have salespeople. We have operators who lead conversations that close. I'm going to show you exactly how to objection handle all of these objections that you might get now. So how to overcome them. Objections aren't rejection. It's not them saying no. It's uncertainty. It's needing to reframe the actual ideology and beliefs that the client has. If they book the call, they already want help. Your job isn't to fight them. It's to clarify what's unclear to get them to buy from you. When you understand that, closing becomes calm. Objections aren't scary. They become signals. So now breaking down objections. Every objection is one of these 3 things. 1, they don't believe you can solve the actual issue. 2, they don't believe that they can do it. 3, they don't believe that now is the right time. Or 4 will most likely be financial. If they have anything else they throw, it's going to be a finance thing, and you just have to work around the price aspect of it. So the first thing is listen. So don't let them cut off. Let them say their objection, whether it's I have to think about it or I have to talk to my wife or whatever the circumstances are. If they say I have to think about it, always give them the back door. Never push back. You don't want to fight at this point. You want to agree and guide them to the right thing. So if someone says I have to think about it, my first thing isn't, oh, what do you have to think about? Or like, why do you have to think about it? I'm not fighting these guys. I'm just like, sure, man. Like, how long would you have to think about it? And they'll be like, oh, a week. Okay. I'll be like, cool. And then like between the week and now, like, what kind of stuff are you going to be going over? That's basically the same exact way to say, oh, what do you have to think about? But you're not pushing back immediately. You gave them a back door. You give them reassurance that they can think about it, even though in reality you want to close them right there and then. So show understanding. Something like I have to think about it. Oh yeah, I mean, of course you have to think about it. It's a pretty important decision, right? Like, how long would you need to think about it for? I would also think about it if there's like I have to pray on it. Yeah, man. I mean, I love God as well. Like, I would want to do the same thing in this situation. Now, if they say it's expensive, I don't have the money, which is what it'll come down to 99% of the time. If they genuinely believe in you have a solid program, it's going to come down to, oh, I just don't have the finances to make this work. You can use objection handles like, is this price or cost? You can use something, is this the problem or the consequence of the problem? You guys can look up closing framework. I'll maybe make a video down the line on how to close as well. But right off the bat, just an example here, if they're like, yeah, well, I don't have the money, was it more so the price or the cost? And they'll be like, what do you mean? Well, the difference is the price right now is $5K and the cost is you missing out on having 10K months and scaling that business online and going over XYZ pain points for the rest of your life. So is that 5K worth having that eternal 10K a month return and being able to scale your own business? Or would you rather take the cost, which is still suffering and waking up every day and not having the financial needs you had to provide for your family the rest of your life? Boom, that's something you can say. The goal isn't to afford it, it's to stop losing money by not fixing it. If they say I need to think about it, of course, what were you hoping to get clarity on? The system, the price, or the timing? Kind of identify what it is. Usually when a person says they need to think about it, it's because they're not 100% clear on how this solves their problem. So you can either walk them through that, and if they are clear and they throw you, I have to think about it, it's going to be strictly financial 100% of the time. So you're offering clarity in every situation. I need to talk to my partner. Yeah, I mean, who else is involved in this decision? Oh, you have a business partner? Cool. This is something you want to pre-qualify as well. If they have a partner, you want to ask them earlier on in the calls or anyone else to make the decision. And in fact, you actually want to ask this in the DM. So when you're actually DMing these guys, cool, are you running the company alone? Do you have a business partner? That's something you want to identify right off the bat, because if you're hopping on a call with them at this point, you want to make sure that every decision maker is on that call. If they say, I'm not sure this will work for me, you want to basically reframe the fact that you have the solution to their problem. Okay, the next objection we're going to talk about is if they say the timing isn't right, you just want to redirect it to make sure that they know that there's no right time ever. So say something along the lines of, let's be real, what's the right time to start losing time? Won't fix itself, so on and so forth. Again, I'll give you my full objection handling guide in a later video down the line. So common mistakes, you don't want to get defensive. You always want to stay and agree with them and then guide them through the right process, and you don't want to over-explain yourself. Now, objections are just uncertainty. If you stay calm, clarify, and reframe it with logic, you'll close without pushing. The best closers don't talk people into decisions. They help people make when they've been delaying. Now, the next thing is how to process payment. So the deal isn't done until obviously they pay you. A smooth payment process builds confidence and momentum. A messy one kills trust instantly. So you need multiple ways to connect, a clear process, and zero hesitation when it comes time to lock in the deal. Now, collect payments for programs on call. The goal is to get the payment within 5 minutes of them saying yes. If you take time, you're going to give them time to think, and it's not going to go your way. Now, there's something called buy now, pay laters. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about processors you can use. You can use Stripe. It's the most basic one. Stripe is a great way to process payments online. It has Klarna, it has buy now, pay later options. But at the same time, there's a very big risk of getting banned because you're not allowed to sell info products on Stripe. I know multiple people, even my clients, even me myself, that have gotten their accounts whacked on Stripe for completely no reason at all, stealing tens, 20s, 30, $100,000 from us. So the better option is fan bases. And when you work with me personally, I get you on a fan basis. I have the connections for them. I'll get you the best processing rates. So I can get you on a fan basis. Otherwise, there's other processors you can use like WAP you can use on your own. But fan basis is the best because they have the best buy now, pay later options overall. And some of these buy now, pay later options, you might have heard of Klarna, but there's a bunch. And I'm going to tell you what they allow you to do. What they allow you to do is allow customers to split payments over 12 to 24 months with even some options that require $0 today. So who can do this? Anyone with a decent credit history or any history at all for shorter financing plans. And how they use it is set it up on Fanbases or Stripe and use that time on checkout. So for example, with just $40 on hand, you can get paid in full on prices on 1K, meaning if they have $40 on hand, even if they have $0 and a good background check, they could give $0 today, $40 every month, and you would have 1K in your pocket today. If you want to sign them on a 10K deal, they could have $400 on hand and they could put down $400, finance it over that 24-month term, and you could have 10K in your pocket today. This is a great way to get PIFs when you don't have money. PIFs are paid in full. It's a great way to get paid in full payments when you do not have money on hand or your ideal client doesn't have money on hand. And these financing options all have their own thing that stands them out from the rest of the market. Klarna is very basic. Payver requires less credit. Zip requires less credit as well. There's a bunch of options you can use. Some that don't even check credit. They just check the balance on the credit card statement. Some that don't even need that. And Fanbase is the one that has all the good stuff. Stripe will have Klarna, very basic, but you'll also miss out on a lot of money from it. The goal is to utilize these buy now, pay laters to make sure you get paid in full for your payments and for your work right off the bat, rather than having to split things up monthly because your revenue will drop. So rather than someone paying you manually $500 a month, have them pay Klarna $500 a month and you get $10,000 in your pocket today. Now, real quick on how to set it up. If you see I have 37K on this Stripe account this month. Before it got banned, it's banned now, so I can't even pay this out. They have $1,000 frozen in this account, not to mention my other accounts, but I'm going to show you how to set it up. So you go over to settings, you go over to payments right here. Then you want to go to payment methods, and inside payment methods you can click the default configuration and it will show you all the different types, and you can kind of turn things on and off depending on what you want. All the Afterpay is with Cash App, Klarna is here, Zip is here. You can kind of add all these in so people can use it when they use your payment and checkout method. Now when they go on the link, you can see exactly what regions it applies to, and how you create the link is very simple. You set up the Stripe account, you go to payment links, you go to create a payment link, add a product, say what it is. So we can do one-on-one mentorship, and we can add the price. Price would be $10,000. Boom. Very simple. Hit the add product button. You can create the link right here, and now when it's time to check out, the person can take this link and they can copy and paste it and they can pay off of it, and it'll hit your Stripe balance. So when you go on here, you see even I have the option for Klarna on this, even though this account is banned. But yeah, that's how you want to set up your Stripe and how you want to set up your payments on Stripe. Now the next thing you want to do is have the proper contract. So chances you're suing someone are slim to none. Contracts are in place for legitness. Obviously your company needs to perform in a logical manner, and then to also define deliverables that the client is going to be receiving as they work with you. So making the contract, don't overcomplicate it. Mine are all done through ChatGPT. Make it simple with certain key elements to change. Use ChatGPT to create it per new client. So obviously the only things that will change are the name, the date, the deliverables, and the pricing depending on the clients. But make one general template, use ChatGPT. And when it comes to signing it, you can use one of the two, DocuSign or PandaDoc. Super simple. You basically attach the contract template inside after you create it with ChatGPT, put in their email, and it'll send them an email, and they just click one button, sign it, boom, and it gets saved. You can download it as a PDF just to have, again, maintain that professionalism. That's how you want to do your contracts. You want to do contracts right after payment. So close, collect payment, sign the contract. Now, the last thing we are going to talk about is fulfillment and back-end system. So when it comes to fulfillment, you want to get your clients results ASAP. And the fastest way to do that is to give them a quick win. Run an audit right after onboarding. So see what the quickest thing you can do to get them some sort of result is. The first thing that's broken, fix it and show the result in 24 to 48 hours. What this does is it gives them an early dopamine hit. So they not only build trust, but they build confidence in your process. When they see a win right off the bat, they're going to be like, okay, cool. Well, this guy like really knows what he's talking about because I already saw a result. They'll trust the process for the future. They won't have any problems with payments. They're going to be happy that they sign with you, and you're going to be able to actually tell them what to do and help them progress next. So run a fulfillment or offer audit the day they sign, send a Loom showing what you fix, and client will instantly see value. Speed builds belief, slow onboarding kills your momentum. Now, how to ensure they win. You can't scale chaos. Clients is built on systems, clear deliverables, progress tracking, and proactive support. The rule is every client should know exactly what stage you're in, what's next, and who's helping them. So you can use a dashboard, or what I always recommend to my clients is build some sort of roadmap out for clients where it shows you how I just did here, where step 1 is this, and stage 2 is this, and stage 3 is this. You want to kind of do a similar thing for your clients where they know, okay, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is what I need to do next. Now, things you can do to build out this roadmap is you can do it on Notion, you can do ClickUp, you can do reports. When clients see progress, they stay. When clients guess, they leave. So you want to give them a clear roadmap on what their journey is going to look like, what the next step is, and what they're doing right now. Now, how to provide a solution to every problem. You'll know what's missing when the same question shows up 3 times. Instead of repeating answers, build systems around them. This is the biggest thing I can emphasize on that everyone I come into struggles with, because they get the same exact question and they keep repeating the answer, and it drives them crazy. But there's such an easy fix. So let's say I have a program on how to grow your content. Now, a very commonly asked question is going to be, is my clip good? Is my reel good? Do I have a good hook? How do I know if I'm going viral? All of these questions, rather than me sitting there and answering them one-on-one every single time, I could just create a video. So if I had 10 people ask me the question, oh, how do I know if my reel is good? All I have to do is take all the knowledge I gave those guys, put it into one SOP, and make a video around the fact of how to check if you have a good video. Boom. Now, anyone else that asks, hey, is my reel good? I could just send that video over and they could take a look at that rather than me sitting there and giving my active time. And you can apply that to literally anything. So any questions you're getting, even if it's fitness, how do I make sure I'm tracking my calories? How do I track my calories? You can literally make a SOP on how to track it and send it over, and they'll have that asset forever, and it buys you back all of your time. So upgrade your course modules based on the popular client questions. Create Looms and Notion SOPs for recurring problems. So anything recurring that's going on, give them the resources and solutions. Now add structure, one-on-one question support, daily Slack thread, or office hours. So you can give them a certain amount of time they can contact you. You can make it 24/7 support. Again, going back to the first step, defining your offer, see how you want to carry your fulfillment system. Now, in terms of the back end, what team members you would need to hire to actually scale past that 50 or 100K a month mark. Now, the goal is to have your time back. At the end of the day, time is money. You want to systemize your time, and you want to pay people and bring the proper employees on board so you can have that time back. Now, what do you need? You need a setter. 1, this is the guy that's going to actually set the appointments for you. So fills your calendar, inbound, outbound DMs. 2 is a closer to run the sales calls. You can close yourself. I still close myself to this day just because I enjoy it, and you'll have a higher closing rate when you close yourself. But eventually, let's say you have 50 calls on the calendar. I will not sit there and take 50 calls. I would take 5 to 10 max a day, and you can get that to a closer to take the rest. An operator is the one that manages the backend systems plus fulfillment. Editor is the one that obviously manages your content. So a social media manager or editor is the one that's going to edit your content, help even post it for you if you need someone to actually post it for you, systemize the whole thing. And a CSM, a client success manager. This is someone that basically does the coaching for you under your wing so they can have client communication and they can be involved with them and give them that kind of 24/7 support. So if you're a fitness coach, you would have a trainer under you. If you're a business coach, you would have someone that also understands the business that would also be providing value to these guys so you don't have to depend on your direct time. Now, anyone that works with me, I will actually train and place these guys for you. So I will have everything in place where I will place the editors, I will place the setters, place the closers. I have connections for everything. But otherwise, if you're on your own, it's going to be hard. So you need to make sure that you hire A players. I'm going to show you exactly how you hire the A players. A players want clarity, challenge, and upside, not chaos. So what is the hiring framework? You want to adjust the role. Know what success looks like before posting. Test first, give paid trials, let people on board for lower prices, and make sure you test these guys. A lot of people can talk. Everyone's going to tell you they're a great setter, a great closer. What you need to do is get them on board and actually test it. And you want to find someone that's committed, and then you want to make sure you incentivize these guys. So head KPIs for a setter. If they book X amount of calls this month, I'll give you a $1,000 bonus. For a closer, if you close this amount of calls, I'll give you a bonus. For your CSM, once we get X amount of clients and you're fulfilling for them, I'll give you a bonus. Whatever the circumstances are, have them incentivized to actually grow with you as a company rather than keeping them stuck in kind of this jail where they're making the same amount every single month, because eventually it's going to want them to go pursue a different opportunity that's going to make them more money. So make sure you're not micromanaging and find people who are going to create solutions without being told. Make sure you have people that are motivated already. It is not your job to motivate these guys and tell them what to do every day. All right, now we're going to get into what metrics you should track and what matters the most. If you can't measure it, you can't scale it. So these are some essentials that you need to have. You need to have a centralized CRM to track your leads and traffic, something like Go High Level. You want to have a revenue tracker, so somewhere, maybe even Google Sheets or a sales call tracker where you could see how much money you made, the cash collected, and the projected data for the month, so you can see how your months are doing, how much money you're making, and how you can scale. You want to have a client Typeform, which we talked about earlier. You want to have a content tracker. You want to plan out exactly how you're going to post. Are you posting once a day, twice a day? Are you posting trial reels? Do you want to have a social media manager that's going to post them for you? Make sure you have that, because right now a lot of people, even me, I find myself sometimes just going off the go, but when you have it systemized, it makes room for scale. And then a fulfillment tracker. So make sure you know what steps your clients are in, what the next step is they need to succeed, when their plan ends, when they need to renew, when you can upsell them, so on and so forth. Now, tool stack, you can use something like Notion, you can use Google Sheets, and you can use Go High Level, everything I mentioned above. The goal isn't more data, it's cleaner data. Track what drives revenue, retention, and reach, and ignore the rest. Now, one of the last things we're going to talk about is how to remove yourself and buy back your time. Now, freedom is not about working less, it's about working on what moves the machine. So what you need to do is you need to delegate your admin. So you're scheduling your onboarding, that's why you have the setter. You want to delegate fulfillment, which is your operators and your CSM, and you want to delegate acquisition, setter, closer. Now, if all these three are running, you own a business and you're not working a job. You have no active time. Once all these three things are in place, you literally have to do nothing on a daily basis and you will be making money. So that is exactly the system you need to build out down the line if you actually want to hit that 100K months, because you're going to need your time actively to build your more reach and get more ads rolling and get more people on your actual company. Now, what should be your number one priority? I get this question a lot, so I made a section on its own about it. At scale, your only real job is protecting clarity. So clarity of systems, clarity of team, direction of where the team needs to go. Everything breaks when leadership gets reactive. Everything compounds when leadership stays calm and strategic. So the mindset you need to have is every problem is a system gap and every win is a system proven. So don't fix chaos with hustle. You want to fix it with clarity. Your job, your number one priority should always be, one, how can I expand my reach and move the needle? What you need to do is look at yourself when you wake up, look in the mirror, and define what the number one thing I can do today and right now is that will move the needle in my business. What will take it to the next level? And you don't want to focus on the lower level tasks. That's what we have the delegation for. That's why we're hiring these team members. You want to only focus on the stuff that will move the needle the next day. Now, obviously, when you're starting off on a lower scale, you're going to have to do a lot of this stuff yourself, which is completely normal. You need to hustle when you start any business, right? But down the line, when you're at this point where you're making a few six figures, few five figures a month, you want to relax and you want to focus on stuff that's going to move the needle, and less is more at this stage. So look at the number one thing you can do to move the needle every single day and focus on that. And that, most of the time, for most of you guys, is going to be content, just so you guys know in advance. Most people focus on getting clients. The real game is keeping them, scaling them, and freeing yourself. That's what turns a coaching offer into a company. And this is the back end that makes your brand unstoppable, with clean systems, an elite team, and measurable results. Now, I just covered everything from the very, very start of creating your company all the way to the end, with direct implementation and examples for you on every single step. At this point, if you guys have watched this far in the video and learned and took away from everything I've said, you have the exact skill set you need to make at bare minimum your first $50,000 a month online. Literally everything you need, we just went over. I know I went through it pretty fast. If you guys need to watch back the video, definitely do. Go ahead, slow it down if you need to. Make sure you truly understand this. If you guys have any questions at any point, you can always DM me. I'll have my handle on the screen right here, so you can go on Instagram, shoot me over a DM, and I will get back to you. I don't have a lot of followers, so I respond to everyone personally. And now if you want to work with me, I will personally take you on one-to-one over a 6-month period where we will take you from $0 to making at least 10K a month. And we'll take you from, if you're already at above 10K a month, to making at least 100K a month within these 6 months. That is my guarantee to you, or your money back, or I work with you for free until we do, assuming you follow all the implementation and steps that I'm going to give you. Now, throughout that program, we sit on calls every week. You have my team for 24/7 support. You have my exact fulfillment dashboard. So everything that I'm teaching you guys, I implement for myself. You will have my upgraded and my actual physical strategies that I am personally using, which I'm not going to leak here, obviously, because this is a free resource, but you will have access to everything that I do personally once you're inside, and we will make sure we take you to where you need to go. If you want to work with me, my application will be in the bio. It'll be the first link. It'll be the Typeform, just like I told you guys, have that Typeform link in there. So be sure to click that Typeform, fill out the application, and I will see you guys on the other side. Thank you everyone for watching. If you made it this far in the video, I'm just curious to see if anyone's going to watch the whole thing through. If you made it this far, I want you to comment a certain word. If you guys comment the word class on this video, say something like great class. And if you comment something like that, literally the words great class, I will give you 25% off when it comes to working with me. So if you want to work with me and you watch this whole video, comment the word great class and then go ahead and fill out the Typeform, and I will look through the comments. And if I'll have a question on Typeform, you could just say you filled it out and I'll give you 25% off. You have my word to you that you will get it just from watching, sitting there and watching this for over an hour, because I know this was a lot of information to take in. And that is all, guys. I will be uploading a lot more consistently. This was my first video, so you're going to see a bunch more stuff coming out, more lifestyle, more of my life outside of the actual business side, more business breakdowns and sort of specifics for all of you guys. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the other side. See you guys.